Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here at Wrigley Field, where some showers have fallen, knocking out some batting practice today. The Cubs taking on the Eastern Division leading Montreal Expos. Not too bad a start for this Expo ball club, Lou, huh?
No, it's one of their better starts, and they're very happy with it. Very happy with their ball club. A few changes in the pitching department, a few changes on the bench, and getting two fellas from the Cubs, White and Scott, that has actually, I think, turned the Montreal team right around to one that is going to carry on all season and will be a threat to the division championship.
Well, Mr. Rodney Scott, of course, has knocked Davy Cash out of a starting role at second base and played pretty well against us up there. And he's off to a real good start, batting 280 or 281 starting this series today. And a whole host of other characters who've been with him in the past, including, of course, a fine young catcher, Gary Carter, and a veteran pitcher such as Steve Rogers going today. They've kind of anchor that pitching rotation. He's a mighty tough customer. They've got some pretty solid depth on this ball club.
Yes, and things have been working their way. They've won a ball game scoring 2 runs in the 9th inning. They've won 4 one-run ball games, which is helpful to a ball club's morale.
And they beat the Cubs 2 out of 3 up there on the scarcity of runs. They made them really count in that 3-game series. Cub pitching, of course, has been just excellent after the first 2 or 3 games of this 1979 season. I hope it can stay that way.
I do, too, because there's no doubt in my mind that our ball club's going to start hitting and score some runs.
Harmon is going to go with virtually the same lineup he had yesterday. He wants to keep Scot Thompson out there for his bat, and also we'll get a good look as to how well he can handle center field with Jerry Martin sidelined today again. And Bobby Murcer going to be out there in right field again. Did a fine job yesterday.
Yes, his bat came to life yesterday. Let's hopeful that it stays that way.
Umpiring yesterday probably causes many questions to be asked and groans from the crowd as anything else in the ball game, and it's kind of a shame that there is so much emphasis on the situation that we have with the umpires right now. There doesn't appear to be any movement towards a settlement.
No, I'm sorry to agree with you on that. And as we get along farther in this baseball season, you're going to find some added arguments, regardless of who's calling the calls, and more so if the amateur umpires continue. And I'm not taking anything away from them. They've been put on the spot.
They sure have. A tough one.
But I'm hoping that this gets settled very quickly.
I was surprised to see that the New York Mets were able to get Frankie Tavares, the shortstop from the Pittsburgh Pirates, for Tim Foley.
I think there's more behind that than just the deal, and it may come out in the future.
And the Cubs and the Montreal Expos today. The sky is brightening a bit out here at Wrigley Field on this Ladies' Day. And Montreal, of course, will be here again tomorrow on Jacket Day and again on Sunday. And the folks from the Oak Brook Tobacco Company want me to be sure and give you a few more details about the excellent Dividend Club. I know that a lot of our pipe smokers and our listening audience are members of that Dividend Club right now, and a lot more of you are not familiar with it at all, so pay heed. If you're interested in getting the very finest pipes from the top manufacturers in the country, excellent pipe tobacco that is hand-blended for you, all the other smoking accessories, getting free pipe repairs, then you should become a member of the Dividend Club, that is, of the tobacco companies. You can get your tobacco and your pipes at up to 50% off. That's right. And, as I said, you get your pipes repaired absolutely free. To find out more about the Dividend Club, just pick up the phone and dial tobacco. And if you live out of town, call collect, call 312, and then dial tobacco. That's all there is to it. Don't forget, too, have the James Smithson and the Paid in Full cigars. And they are so proud about them that for every 5 cigars you buy, you get 1 free. Make an inquiry about that, too. The tobacco companies, with 4 locations now, the Oak Brook Store and the Oak Brook Shopping Center, the Brickyard in Chicago, the Jefferson Square Mall in Joliet, and inside the Kentucky Village at Lincoln Mall in Madison. That's been a presentation of WGN Sports. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau. Lou with the leadoff man in a moment, and then the ball game on WGN Radio, Chicago.
You don't just have lunch or dinner at the Seabrook Restaurant in Oak Brook. You have an experience, one of truly fine dining. The Seabrook menu overflows with desirable delicacies that would tempt the palates of the most selective connoisseur, such as fettuccine Alfredo and crab legs combination, fresh red salmon Wellington, and many more. For seafood at its finest, make reservations now at the Seabrook, 1221 West 22nd Street, across from the Oak Brook Center. The Seabrook, 654-0550, 654-0550.
How you doing, everybody? Lou Boudreau with the leadoff man from rainy Wrigley Field at the present time, but we're hopeful of getting this ball game in. It's the Cubs against the Montreal Expos. We'll be talking to our guest, winning pitcher yesterday, Dennis Lamp of the Chicago Cubs, in just 1 minute.
You've probably heard that Scandinavia is one of the most fabulous vacation spots on Earth, but it can sometimes be expensive, too, unless you take one of the vacations offered by the airline of Scandinavia, SAS. SAS has just made it possible to experience beautiful Scandinavia at prices no other scheduled airline can beat. So you can take a fairy tale tour of Denmark for as little as $175, or an excursion through Norway's awesome fjords for only $199, or rent a car in Sweden for only $135 a week, unlimited mileage. And the hotels start at a mere $17 a night. Of course, fully escorted tours are also available. So if the only thing that's been standing between you and Scandinavia is the price, call your travel agent or SAS now, because at bargain prices like these, Scandinavia is one vacation spot you can't afford to miss. SAS, choice of the seasoned traveler.
Well, here's a gentleman who had to keep his wits about him this spring. He did not have a good spring training and was not used early this year, but then when the season began and the bell rang, Dennis put out a little bit extra. Is that about the story, Dennis?
Yes. I was taken out of the starting rotation, but I made sure I had a good attitude, and I felt that it took 25 men to win the pennant, so I had to keep a good attitude. And early in the year, it's a little cold, and a lot of times the pitchers can't go 9 innings because it's so early. But I just had to keep myself ready at all times.
Did last year's record catch up to you? The Cubs were shut out about 4 times when you were pitching. You had a number of losses that actually, with a little luck, could have been on the win column. Not that I asked you that last year catch up to you, but did you think that perhaps last year's record might have caught up to Herman Franks or Mike Rourke?
Not really. It was just one of those things. I had a bad spring, and it's just one of those things. I really couldn't pinpoint it this spring. It might have been that I was standing straight up and not really letting go out in front of my body. And consequently, my sinker wasn't working. And that's my best pitch, is a sinker.
Well, usually managers and coaches and pitching coaches have to have a photographic mind to remember seeing you when you were throwing well and not throwing well. And my description was that I thought you were up and over more, consequently lost that good sinking fastball. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. That was just my observation, because I think you're a 3/4 thrower or a sidearm thrower, and quick. You had a good stuff yesterday. You had a good breaking pitch, I thought, yesterday. Maybe you lacked control with it at certain occasions, but it was breaking.
Yes. My sinker wasn't really biting like I wanted to, but I was throwing the breaking ball and changeup and kept them off balance. Barry Foote caught a great game, and I tried not to give in to the hitters. I didn't have the great sinker, or I could, if I got behind, I could throw the sinker because it wasn't biting. I felt that I could make a mistake, more so with that pitch than the other two, because I know my change is probably my second best pitch, and curveball is my third best pitch. But yesterday, fortunately, they were both working.
And in a one-run ball game or a tied ball game, you cannot afford a mistake, can you?
Right. It was going through my mind quite a bit sometimes. You get a 3-2 game and a one-run lead. That sometimes does go in the back of your mind, but I just tried to, count on Barry as far as calling the game. But I don't know. Whatever happened out there, I didn't let it bother me. If they made a bad call or if they missed a few pitches, I just made sure that I was ready, and I didn't let things bother me, and that's the most important thing. If I'd let that call bother me at first base when Hernandez was out, the next pitch, you never know, Simmons could hit a home run, so I had to bear down on Simmons.
This is the attitude that a pitcher must take, because he's going to get several poor calls behind the plate that don't go your way or on the base paths, and that's the attitude that one has to have, that, well, I'll get this man out right here before trouble brews. But let's get back to Barry Foote. Foote is a type of catcher that will call for all pitches, won't he? He has confidence in you pitchers that you can get any one of 3 pitches over.
Yes, Barry and Timmy. They call a very good game. I remember last year Timmy had caught me in San Francisco for the first time, and I pitched a shutout against the Giants. And, basically I'm not a strikeout pitcher. And it's pretty easy for them to call the sinker, but it's more important, I think, to call the breaking pitches a lot of times because they know that I have a pretty good sinker, and to throw these other pitches and to have such a good caller in Barry and Timmy, it really helps. It takes the thinking part away from the pitcher.
And it gives you confidence that you've got 3 pitches you can work on.
Right. I've worked awfully hard this spring. On all of my pitches, Mike Rourke helped me out, but, it's just one of those things. I think maybe a lot of times in spring training when you throw the ball, you try to throw strikes, and sometimes you make too good a strike.
Well, I've had several pitchers in my career that spring training didn't mean anything. I'm throwing for control. I'm not going to put a little extra on the ball. And then when the season begins, there's a little extra effort and a little more concentration in spring training, and consequently they have a good year. This could be your history and your story this year, because now that spring training is behind you, you can just remember the 2 appearances that you've had, the little over 5 innings in Montreal and yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And that's the best way to think about it, is now look forward to the next start.
Yes, very much so.
You know what could have helped also, and also why I think that to your credit was your great attitude, was a number of off days early in the season, and the man could only pitch 1 or 2 men with 7 off days out of 10.
That's right, and maybe it reflects a little bit in our hitting early in the year. But right now we're playing good defense, and we're making the right plays.
You feel your next assignment will be against Houston?
I believe so. It's hard to say right now, but, we have, 5 or 6 pitchers, so it's going to be tough.
Would you object to start and then go to the bullpen to keep working?
Well, I feel I'm a starter, but whatever Herman wants is fine with me.
You think our ball club will start hitting?
Oh, yes. It's still early, and we've got, over 150-some games left, and there's plenty of time. You never win a pennant in April. You have to play out the 162-game schedule.
What about Dennis Lamp's objectives for this year? Have you said any?
Other than to win the pennant, really. I just try to do the best I can out there, and a lot of times I might not get the win. It might be somebody out of the bullpen. So my main objective is to keep the score down and just worry about, keeping the ball down and make him hit on the ground. And, things I think will take care of himself. Yeah.
Denny, good luck to you, and thanks a lot for the interview.
Okay, thanks a lot, Lou.
Dennis Lamp, fine young pitcher with the Chicago Cubs, our guest, and we'll be right back after this message.
Sir, are you still in the dressing room?
You bet I am.
Are you going to buy the Palm Beach quad?
Definitely. I love this outfit.
Well, our Litton store is about ready to close.
There are so many combinations in this Palm Beach quad.
It is one of Litton's best values.
Yeah.
Because Palm Beach tailors it in a fabric by Klopman in today's Dacron.
Which combination you like me in?
Well,
you saw me in the suit and matching vest.
Yes, I like that.
And you saw me in the coat contrasting slacks and reversible vest.
That was at lunch yesterday.
Then, as you recall, I started to experiment with the Palm Beach quad.
I recall.
For example, I can wear just the coat and slacks.
Sir, Litton's is clothing.
Or just the contrasting slacks and vest.
Do you want to buy the Palm Beach
And
quad?
I can mix and match twice.
It's very late.
I'm sorry, I'll be right out.
Oh, good, because I have to close.
Oh, would you look at this?
Oh, no.
If it's hot, I can wear just the coat.
Sir, don't do that.
Or if it's really hot, just the vest.
Or that.
Or if it's really, really hot, just the belt.
Sir, the cleaning lady
Let's
is...
ask her which one
No,
she
don't
likes.
go walking off like
Listen,
that.
if we were a department store, people would say you have so many great clothes like Palm Beach Quads, you should be a clothing store. So that's what we are.
Our guest today, Dennis Lamp, and it was great having Dennis on the show. This is Lou Boudreau. This has been the leadoff man. Now stay tuned for Vince Lloyd and hopefully today's game between the Chicago Cubs and the Montreal Expos. This has been a presentation of WGN Sports. This is WGN Radio Chicago.
Regardless of the weather, rain or shine, you can get both deep penetrating color and waterproofing protection for wood, concrete, or masonry with new Thompson's Waterproofing Seal Stain. You've enjoyed Thompson's Water Seal protection for 50 years. Now you can also get deep penetrating stains with a single application. One container does 2 important jobs. It seals and stains both exterior and interior surfaces. Thompson's Waterproofing Seal Stain comes in 24 enhancing colors, the most popular shades from light to dark in both solid and semi-transparent finishes. So for your next home improvement project, from roofs and fences to patio furniture and decks on the outside, and cabinets to paneling on the inside, choose Thompson's Waterproofing Seal Stain. All-weather protection for all surfaces in living color. They're available at Calumet Paint and Wallpaper Incorporated at 251 East 103rd Street in Chicago.
Wow! Let's go! Battle up! We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game today. The fans are out to get a ticket or two. From Mall of Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run. But even a triple ballgame, we're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo. That's the ballgame today.
The Chicago Cubs are on the air. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to Major League Baseball from beautiful Wrigley Field. Boy, today we've got a little breeze out of the south and southeast, which means that it's pleasantly cool out here at the ballpark, or should I say pleasantly warm for a change, huh? Yeah, the temperature is up in the low 60s. That's about as warm as we've had since we left Arizona. I'm Vince Lloyd, and with Lou Boudreau, welcome to our broadcast. The Cubs today take on the Eastern Division leading Expos from Montreal, who defeated the Cubs 2 out of 3 up there last weekend. So the Cubs, who won the series from the Cardinals with a win yesterday by a score of 3-2, hope to make it a win here over the Montreal Expos today and see if they can't capture this series also. Then we'll have the Houston Astros in town next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to close out this homestand. For the Cubs today, warming up down the left field line, big right-hander, veteran Lynn McGlothen, who pitched a complete game victory over these Expos up there and did a superb job against them. And opposing him will be Steve Rogers, who is 0-1 for the season, but this is a good, tough pitcher. He lost his ball game to the Chicago Cubs, and one of the blows that beat him was Dave Kingman's home run. And it was Rogers against McGlothen last Sunday up at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, so we've got a rematch here today. Our broadcast is brought to us by the G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, the makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country. True Value Hardware Stores, more than just a name. It's their way of doing business. That's True Value. General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices, and to borrow up to $10,000, call friendly Bob Adams. You'll find him at Andover 32020. Your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers. Find out how they can make car buying a real pleasure for you. Oldsmobile. And by the Association of Chicagoland McDonald's Restaurants. Dick Williams, the skipper of the Expos, coming out to home plate. Coach Peanut Lowry carrying Herman Frank's lineup card. And an umpiring crew today that has amateur from the Chicago area, Dennis Riccio, calling the balls and strikes. Steve Fields umpiring at first. He is a professional umpire. Joe Pomponi from the Chicagoland area at second, and Joe Mayer will be at third. For the Expos today, Andre Dawson will be leading off. He'll be in center field with one-time Cub Rodney Scott batting second. Scott at second base. Warren Cromartie will be in left field, hitting third. Ellis Valentine hitting in the cleanup position in right field. And Tony Perez, whose glove helped beat the Cubs in one of those 3 games up at the Olympic Stadium, will be at first base, hitting fifth. Gary Carter, the big catcher, batting sixth. Larry Parrish at third base. Parrish batting seventh. And Chris Speier, the shortstop, hitting eighth, followed by Steve Rogers. For the Cubs, Ivan DeJesus to lead off at short. Scotty Thompson again in center field, Thompson batting second, with Bill Buckner sporting a 6-game hitting streak over at first base. Dave Kingman in left field, batting cleanup. Steve Ontiveros again hitting in the number 5 spot today. And Bobby Murcer in right field, hitting sixth again. Barry Foote doing the catching, batting seventh. Ted Sizemore at second base. And Lynn McGlothen, the pitcher, now 1-1 for the year. Let's take a moment here for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago.
Our broadcast, copyrighted, is presented by authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. We talked the other day about 7 of the Montreal Expos being on the National League All-Star ballot, and we just got the word that 4 of the Cubs are on it. Bill Buckner, Ivan DeJesus, Dave Kingman, and Bobby Murcer. The Dodgers, the Phillies, the Expos all placed 8 apiece on that ballot. That's the most in the National League. The Red Sox lead the American League with everybody, all 9 on the ballot. This year, All-Star Game, the 50th in its history, is going to be played out at the Seattle Kingdome, and with the dimensions of that ballpark, there may be more home runs hit in that All-Star Game this year than in any of them in past history. But balloting will begin on the 19th of May, a little less than a month away, and it will end on the 4th of July. More about it as time goes on. But there are 4 of the Cubs on it: Buckner, DeJesus, Kingman, and Murcer. And here come the Cubs. Take their positions on the field. Barry Foote behind the plate. Bill Buckner to first base. Sizemore to second. DeJesus to short. Ontiveros over at third. Kingman, Scot Thompson, and Murcer in the outfield. And they ask the folks to stand for the playing of the organ by John Hensel. As a matter of fact, they'll play both anthems. Before we have the first pitch to Andre Dawson, let's take time out for these messages.
When it comes to selling auto parts, seems like everyone's trying to get into the act.
Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?
Well, yes, I'd like to buy a set of shocks for my car.
Socks? We don't sell socks, just auto parts. Read the sign, can't you? No smoking. Grandpa's Auto Parts.
No, not socks. Shocks. Shock absorbers.
I told you we don't carry socks. Hey, how about a radiator for a 38 Ford? Just cut it in
That's
yesterday.
nice, but I don't want a radiator. I don't want any socks. All I want is a set of shocks. Got it? Shock. Shock.
Sure is an uppity young girl. Not my fault I don't sell socks.
This is Johnny Rutherford. At CarQuest Auto Parts stores, shopping is never a hassle. You get name brands at the right price and the right advice when you need it. Now, Monroe Gripper shocks are only $5.99 each, original equipment quality or better. For the same low price plus professional installation, drop in at a service station or garage with the CarQuest Monroe banner. We're in the yellow pages.
When you're talking parts, Dominic, Chicagoland, most complete food store.
This week, your Dominic's Meat Specialists have a special value for you. USDA Choice Blade Cut Chuck Roast is priced at only $1.19 per pound. For a change of taste, there's USDA Government Inspected Corned Beef Brisket Offers bulk style and mild cured. It's priced only at $1.69 a pound. You can always be sure of getting the best meat value from your meat specialist at Dominic's.
Andre Dawson to step in, big number 10 in the back of that traveling light blue uniform of the Expos. Dawson hitting .295, 3 homers already this year, and 8 runs batted in. McGlothlen's first pitch, a breaking ball, sends him spinning out of the batter's box. Ball 1. Really clattered him with that one. This ball club leading the Eastern Division with a mark now of 8 wins, 2 losses. Swing and a miss. Ball 1, strike 1. They shut the Cubs out behind Bill Lee up there Monday. Capture their 6th win. Wind up on the 1-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. Kept it down and away and had him feeling for the ball. 32-year-old Dennis Riccio from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Amateur umpire working behind the plate. Felipe Alou coaching at third. Ozzie Virgil at first base. McGlothlen ready. 1-2 delivery. Dawson checks his swing on a fastball up. They ask for the appeal, and they get it. Steve Fields, first base umpire. And Dawson did not hold up in time. Good fastball. Here's Rodney Scott batting .281. Driven in 6 runs, has 11 hits for the year. Batting left-handed, of course, against Lynn McGlothen, a right-hander. Murcer is still giving him that right field line. First pitch, fastball, high, ball 1. Ontiveros has to be alert, of course, should he want a bunt. McGlothen gets the sign, delivers. Fastball, same spot, high and away, ball 2. Thompson is over into left center field and fairly shallow. Kingman guards the line, fairly shallow and left. 2-0 delivery. Caught the outside corner with a breaking ball. Ball 2, strike 1. And the wind today, for a change, is blowing out towards left field. Wind up, and the pitch swung on. Ground ball rolls out to Sizemore at second, down to his knees. Got it. Takes over to Buckner, 2 away. Keeps Scott off the bases. Cromartie stepping in, left-handed hitter, batting .277. Homer and 2 runs batted in. Montreal has a game-and-a-half lead over the Phillies in the Eastern Division, 3 over the Cardinals, 4.5 over both the Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the same margin over the New York Mets, whose record is the same as that of the Cubs, 3-6 now. First pitch, Cromartie, a swing and a foul. That got a play. Strike 1 count. The Houston Astros scheduled in here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on this homestand. A game-and-a-half lead in the National League Western Division over San Francisco. 2 over Cincinnati, which got a 2-hit shutout performance last night from Tom Seaver over the Atlanta Braves. Strike 1 pitch. High. Ball 1, strike 1. Seaver's 48th career shutout. A 2-hit job. 1-1 delivery. Swung on a miss as McGlothen came right over the top with that one and exploded. Ernie Banks, the old left-hander from the Chicago Bears, sitting in a box seat together, watching the action down here. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on a breaking ball over the outside corner that Cromartie can't believe. 3 up, 3 down. The Cubs come to bat. That's Bobby Douglas we're talking about, former Bear quarterback. Cubs will be coming to bat here against Steve Rogers. There's no score.
The gallant band of old, we make our buying a pleasure again. From the very first moment we greet you, we're gonna do our honest best. The gallant band of old, understanding is the name of the game. We want to see you here again and again, so we're gonna treat you right. The gallant band of old, we make our buying a pleasure again. The gallant band of old, ask some questions, get a plain talk
weekend, come to McDonald's.
Good morning.
My daughter has tap dancing lessons at 10:30.
Lisa,
Put it on hold, Felicia. We serve you breakfast fast, so you have plenty of time to make the most of your morning.
Today we're going bowling.
Huh?
Bowling, fishing. Bowling, fishing.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Ready?
Yeah.
Make the most of your morning and still have time for golden hotcakes and pure pork sausage.
We do it all for you.
Thank you, everybody. Make the most of your morning.
Ivan DeJesus, who got his first homer of the year yesterday and 7 in his career, will be leading off, hitting .275. Steve Rogers, as I mentioned earlier, lost Sunday to McGlothen, and one of the 6 hits the Cubs got off of him was Dave Kingman's home run with a man on. He allowed 5 runs in that outing. He's earned run average for the year now, 3.27. Which is a good one. Some of you inquire from time to time about the Cubs minor league farm system. And today we have a little information on it given us by the Cub front office. We'll pass it along to you. Give you an idea on how some of the future Cub players are doing in the minors. First pitch. And Ivan takes. Rogers is in with a strike. He's a tall right-hander from down around St. Louis. And a graduate of the University of Tulsa. Gets his sign from Carter, delivers, and Ivan swings. Drive into left field, but it's caught. Warren Cromartie is there playing him perfectly. Line drive shot brings up Scot Thompson. In the starting role, he's 6 for 14. And for the season, Thompson is only batting .471 with 3 runs batted in. 8 hits. And his first 17 trips to the plate as a Cub this year. Rodney Scott moves a little bit more towards first base on that infield. Dawson, not deep, in left center field, shading him to swing a little bit late. Rogers in the windup, and the right-hander's first one swung on. A fastball fouled out of play. Back on the third base side. Tomorrow is going to be Jacket Day. You're 13 or under. You'll want to be one of the 15,000 kids out here at the ballpark tomorrow for the game against the Expos. Get a free 12-gauge final jacket in Cubs blue. Fastball swung on. Line drive. Base hit. Into left field. Bobbled momentarily as Cromartie finally slips and falls, but Thompson will still have to settle for a single. Outfield grass, of course, is wet from the rain that hit here today. Does it again. And here is Bill Buckner carrying a 6-game hitting streak. Thompson right now is a .500 hitter. 9 for 18. Hard hit line single to left. Buckner, 8 for 39, batting .205. A couple of runs batted in. Rogers from the stretch. Kicks, delivers. Buckner takes it outside, ball 1. To be eligible for one of those Cub jackets tomorrow, kids, you got to have a fully paid ticket. The bleacher tickets are not included tomorrow to be eligible for a jacket. 1 out, runner on at first, bottom of the first inning, and no score. Steve Rogers on the hill lobs one over to Tony Perez at first base. Cookie Rojas coaching over there, and Joe Amalfitano coaching at third as usual. Valentine is deep in right field for Buckner. And Dawson pretty deep in center. Busy blowing bubbles with his bubble gum out there. Can you imagine yourself blowing bubbles during a ball game as a player?
I tell you, that's why they used to say outfielders should pay to get into this ballpark. They still should.
That is a funny sight.
I tried that once, and it was sticking my throat, on my nose, and everything.
Oh, man. There's the ball, 2-0.
Ought to get that bubble gum named. You make some money on that.
Yeah.
Endorse that.
And Buckner takes that one outside, 3-0.
It's probably the one that they trade cards for. So.
Boy, look at that one. He just got one there about the size of a baseball. He may be wanting to compete this year if they have a bubble gum blowing contest again. There is a strike called on Buckner. 3-1. We're talking about their center fielder, Andre Dawson. Cubs have a man on at first base with one out. And Rogers on the hill, thinking Thompson might be going on this 3-1 pitch. Drives him back with a good peg over there. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd go. 3-1 delivery, and he takes off. Swung on, base hit. Liner over the head of the second baseman going out into right center field. Here comes Thompson around third. He's going to score. Buckner goes into second with a double. It's 1-0 Cubs. And with that one, Bill Buckner is now hit safely in 7 straight games. A blistering double over the head of the second baseman. And in between Valentine and Dawson. Went all the way to the wall. Buckner with 9 hits now, 3 doubles, 1 triple. Here's Dave Kingman. Homered up at Montreal against Steve Rogers. This now has 3 homers for the year. Swings and he misses on the first pitch, and he took a good rip at it. Dave hitting .265. Leads the club, of course, in homers and RBIs with 10. And a chance to drive in another run here with Buckner in scoring position. Cubs have grabbed an early lead, 1-0. Rogers checks Buckner at second. He has a big lead, delivers. Kingman started to go after a breaking ball down and away. Potter asked for the appeal. It is denied by first base umpire Steve Field. In the on-deck circle, Steve Ontiveros. Montreal here tomorrow and Sunday. The Cubs will be idle on Monday. But then host Houston, the Western Division leaders of the moment. Now the 1-1 delivery to Dave Kingman on its way. Swung on and missed, and he looked to me a little like he was fooled by that one.
Yeah, now that is a Rogers pitch. The ball is quick and sinking. But thus far in this ball game, that's the only good sinking fastball he's thrown. He's been up high.
Yeah.
Kingman missed the pitch. I thought this was right in his power, the first strike.
First one, yeah.
Had a good cut at it. And well, if you can catch this fellow when he's off with his control, boy, you have to pick up 3 or 4 runs off of it. Once he gets it, he's tough.
Long look at second, the pitch. Dave swings and misses at a fastball. Disgustedly throws the bat away. It was a good pitch. Woody Fryman is throwing already in the Montreal bullpen. For those of you who keep track of those things, Dave is now fanned 7 times in 35 at bat. Here's Steve Ontiveros. Hitting .242 with a run batted in this year. Has 8 hits in 33 at bats. Rogers delivery. Breaking ball to caught the outside corner. Bill Buckner still perched at second base. Dawson is shadowed up a bit for Ontiveros in center field. Cromartie not very too deep in left. 0-1 to pitch. Outside. Ball 1, strike 1. We have a wind that they tell us is about 12 miles an hour. Looks like it may have cooled down just a little bit. But it is blowing out towards left field. Overcast. 2 out. 1-1 pitch. Ontiveros takes the curve into the dirt. Ball 2, strike 1. Rogers, an awfully tough pitcher. Well, the Cubs got 5 runs off of him up at Montreal last week. That is a real rarity. He is stingy with those runs. Right-hander's pitch. Fastball, a little high, ball 3, strike 1. He went to 3-1 on Buckner. And then Buckner hit a hard double, bringing in Scot Thompson. Now it's 3-1 on Ontiveros, with Buckner still at second and 2 away. Bottom of inning number 1 at Wrigley Field. Carter's given the sign. Here's Rogers into the stretch. 3-1 pitch. Swung on at a hard one hopper. Perez has it back at first base, comes up the line. The side is retired. Unassisted put out. 1 run in the inning, and at the end of 1. The Cubs have a 1-0 lead.
In God's country, we value tradition. You see it everywhere, especially in our beer. Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that is still brewed the traditional Old World way, the way the great European beers have been brewed for centuries. Generations of brewmasters have passed down this brewing art that, to this day, is called poisoning. It's double brewing, pure brewing, and it's the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Right now, millions of gallons of Old Style are quietly resting in our poisoning cellars, aging ever so slowly the traditional way, the Old World way. No artificial carbonation, no modern shortcuts, just nature and time and skill. Heileman's Old Style, pure brewed in God's country, slowly and naturally. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Well, when it comes to remodeling the kitchen or replacing your old carpeting, Friendly Bob Adams can get things off to a fast start with a General Finance home repair loan. Call Friendly Bob at Andover 3-2020. He'll tell you how quickly and easily you can borrow up to $10,000. Then all you have to do is pick up your money at your nearby General Finance office. Call Friendly Bob at Andover 3-2020 and make your house beautiful. Ellis Valentine, the big right fielder, right-handed hitter, leading off. He's the cleanup hitter, batting just .205 this early in the season with 3 runs batted in, no homers. First pitch at a big swing and a miss. Went right over it. Gets down to the batter's box for a moment. He'll be followed by Tony Perez and Gary Carter. He's deep in the batter's box. The pitch. Takes a strike, a fastball. 0-2. Beefing a bit about Dennis Riccio's call. Bill McGlothen struck out 2 in the first inning and got a ground out. Is out in front of this hitter as we go into the second, and a fastball swung on. Deep drive. Right field. Murcer circling back into his left is there. Reaches up. He hauls it in. A high fly ball pretty deep to right field. On a 0-2 pitch. Tony Perez, whose club took care of the Cubs in 1 game up there last weekend, steps in batting .143. 5 hits for him, including a pair of homers, and 4 runs batted in. Takes a look at the first one. The knee-high strike called on him. And he watch time. Steps out of the batter's box. They wear the tri-colored batting helmets. Red, white, and a deep blue. Now Perez is ready, and a swing and a foul. Rolls over in front of the Montreal dugout behind first base. 0-2. The Wichita Farm Club for the Cubs, that's their top AAA team, managed by Jack Hyatt this year, lost last night to Omaha, 7-2. There's a swing by Tony on a pass ball, and he hits a high foul. Buckner giving chase over near the dugout. Does he have room? Nope. Wound up. Hey! Holy mackerel, he made a dive, sprawling across the wall in the first row of seats and stuck the glove way in there, and somehow made a miraculous catch. Wind, of course, blowing in from that right side.
Let me tell you, he's got to be in his second row.
That.
He's got to be in his second row making that catch.
That's where his glove was, right at the corner, the far corner of the Montreal dugout. We had some very obliging fans down there who got out of his way. Well, Carter steps in, he swings, and a line drive out to Dave Kingman. Comes in and makes the catch, and it's 3 up and 3 down. So the Cubs come to bat. Bottom of the second inning, still leading, 1-0.
When you spend time painting your home, make sure it's time well spent by buying a quality paint that will last. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest True Value Hardware Store's finest interior and exterior paints, True Test Easy Care and True Test Weatherall. Both have earned the Good Housekeeping seal and provide a durable finish that will last for years. Easy Care combines the two most important features in a wall paint: a scrubbable hard finish with a beautiful flat latex look that's perfect for every room. And to give you a breather from frequent outdoor painting, True Value Hardware Stores offer True Test Weatherall, their acrylic latex house paint with the breather-type finish that lets moisture escape to help prevent peeling and cracking. Both True Test Easy Care and True Test Weatherall are available in a wide variety of colors and are sold only at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers. And save gas. You won't have to drive far for your shopping and gift-giving needs. If you're looking for values, service, and selections, you'll find them nearby at any one of the more than 5,000 True Value Hardware Stores and home centers located nationwide.
Dennis Eckersley, starting pitcher today for the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park against Kansas City. Wire service reports Eckersley was hit by a batted ball. The injury did not appear to be serious, but Eckersley was taken out of the ball game, and Andy Hassler is now pitching for Boston against Kansas City. And Murcer fouls the first pitch back out of play. Red Sox have a 2-0 lead in the fourth inning of that game. Curve by Rogers, and the right-hander is outside with it. Ball one, strike one to the left-handed hitting Cub right fielder Bobby Murcer. Ball one, strike one delivery. That's outside. Ball two, strike one. Randy Hundley this year is managing the Cubs farm club at Midland, Texas in Double-A ball. They got walloped last night by Amarillo, 14-5. But they've got a good record under Randy. There's a swing by Bobby on a fastball. He gets under it, fouls it back out of play, and had a good rip at that one. Despite that loss last night, Hundley's ball club at Midland, Texas is 5-4 for the year. Ball two, strike two. The count on Bobby Murcer, working against Steve Rogers. Here's the pitch. Very high, 3-2. That seemed to slip out of his fingers. Let's take a moment for station identification. WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
WGN Radio, Chicago.
Wind up in the pitch, swung on, fouls it, out of play down the left field side.
He's had 3-1 and 3-2 on several Cub hitters already in this game.
That's not like him.
No, now's the time to get to him. A few base hits.
He got very upset in his start against us up there last Sunday. What the plate umpires calls on him. Said the guy was not giving him that pitch around the knees. Got his hands on his hips now, staring down at the dirt. Can't understand quite what's wrong. Now he steps up to get his sign. Full count on Bobby. Rogers steps back. The right-hander's delivery. Swung on. Hits the ground ball to the second baseman, Rodney Scott. Up with it easily. Over to Perez. One away. That'll bring up Barry Foote. Murcer, by the way, hitting .273, starting today's action. He got his first run batted into the year yesterday. Barry Foote still looking for his first RBI. Is hitting .207 with a half a dozen hits in 29 at-bats. Former catcher Kenny Rudolph. Fastball. Foote fouls it sharply back up onto the net. Is managing the Cubs rookie league team at Sarasota, Florida. They lost last night to the Atlanta Braves farm club. Combination of Atlanta and Seattle that owns that team in Florida, the rookie league. Jam by that pitch. He pops it up to the shortstop, Chris Speier. Almost at the bag at second. Reaches up, one-hands it. Barry Foote popping up a fastball, makes the second out in the bottom of the second, and that'll bring up Ted Sizemore, hitting .200. He's 6 for 30 with 2 runs batted in. Kenny Rudolph's club in the Cub farm system is 1-1 now. There's a foul ball out of play to the right side. Had some rain here at the ballpark, and it stopped about an hour before game time, prevented batting practice. Now that gives a threat of maybe bringing in some more. Fastball. Rogers misses inside above the knees to Sizemore. It's 1-1. A lot of night games tonight. 2 out, 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and a little looper. Scott goes out, and he makes the one-handed catch. Out in shallow right center field. Rodney Scott grabbing that one. The Cubs in the second inning go down 1-2-3. At the end of 2, still lead Montreal 1-0.
This weekend morning.
We want something quick and fast and good. Today we're going bowling.
Huh?
Bowling, fishing, Lane Creek.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Ready?
Yeah.
Make the most of your morning and still have time for a delicious hot breakfast.
I'm going to make the most of my morning.
Could you step up closer to the counter?
Now with my feet on, no.
Enjoy fresh grade A scrambled eggs with hash browns and sausage, hot cakes and sausage, or our own egg McMuffin.
What would you like, sir?
He's meditating.
Oh, huh?
He can't decide between hot cakes and scrambled eggs.
Oh, they're both delicious.
No.
Scrambled eggs.
Darling.
Okay.
Hot cake?
No,
Darling. Darling.
My cash register's vibrating.
We do it all for you.
Thank you, everybody. Make the most of your morning.
For meals that they remember, starting Fried Eagle. Good meals start with good food, and good food comes from Eagle. Your family's good at eating and at cooking, you're the best. So start it Fried Eagle, you and your family do the rest.
Crunch to your heart's content on crisp, red, delicious apples from Eagle. A 3-pound bag is only 89 cents this week.
Good food, and good food comes from Eagle.
Vince Floyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field as the Expos come to bat in the third. Cubs lead 1-0. Lou, come on in.
First pitch is a strike to Parrish. It'll be Parrish, Speier, and Rogers, the lower 1/3 of the batting order for the Expos. Swing, a line drive, base hit. Left center. Kingman moving quickly to his left. It gets past him. Goes to the wall. There goes Parrish for 2. The throw is not in time. Boy, I thought Sizemore made a nice dive to just get in front of Parrish's slide. But the third base umpire moving over there called the play and called it safe. It's a double for Parrish. And let me tell you, great hustling by Kingman and a fine throw came very close in getting Parrish. Very close play at second base. First hit off of McGlothen. And now here's Speier at bat. Tying run at second base. Speier takes a curveball. Inside, ball 1. Speier, veteran, hitting .281, 1 RBI. Another curveball. Strike call. 1-1 the count. Speier had 1 for 8 in Montreal against the Cubs. McGlothen checks Parrish at second. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 2, strike 1. Detroit has taken a 4-0 lead over Toronto at the end of 5. Kansas City has tied up Boston 1-1. Boston batting in the bottom of the 4th inning. All action in the National League under lights tonight. The pitch. Speier swings, hits a ground ball to second baseman, and it goes through Sizemore, and here comes Parrish around. Here's a throw from DeJesus. It's over the catcher's head, back to the screen. Speier goes to second base. DeJesus retrieving that ball, throws it over Foote's head. It could be 2 errors on the play, and it is. It's an error on Sizemore. I thought he just merely overcharged that ball, coming in so fast that he was late in getting the glove down to the ground. The ball went under the glove, through his legs to short right center, where DeJesus fielded the ball. Parrish didn't hesitate, rounded third to score. I doubt whether DeJesus would have had a shot at Parrish if the throw would have been good. But it went over Barry Foote's head for the second error on the 1 play, and Speier advances to second, and here's Rogers at bat. He's going to bunt. He ducks the first pitch, ball one. Buckner almost taking the bat out of Rogers' hands. He's that close to the plate. Well, after going 63 innings before making one error, Cubs now made 2 on one play. Swing and a ground ball at shortstop. There goes a runner to third. DeJesus takes a look at Speier, but the veteran and a good base runner, he may not be considered fast, but he's a good base runner, advances to third. Rogers trying to fool the Cubs defense, swinging away and grounds out to DeJesus. Now here's Dawson, the leadoff hitter. Struck out on a half swing in the first inning, and the Cubs infield will not concede the run. They're playing in. 1 out. Dawson taking his time. He just can't dig a hole deep enough to get that right foot settled. Now he's ready. First pitch by McGlothen. Curveball swing, ground ball, foul. Over Philippe Ballou, the coach's head, at third base. McGlothen got that curveball up and high. And Dawson was out in front of it and fouls it down the left field line. Cubs playing their left side of the infield halfway now. High inside fastball, 1-1 the count. Dawson levels that bat over the plate, and here's the 1-1 pitch. Curveball, swing, a fly ball, center field. Speier tagging up. It's deep. Thompson's under it. He has it. Here's Speier, falls down. Here's the throw, but it's off target. And Speier scores. Now, let me tell you, this is why you should not take anything for granted in baseball. Thompson didn't. He got the ball in, but his throw needed a radar to guide it to Buckner on the mound because it was over towards third base. Speier, after taking 2 steps off of third base, fell down, but quickly got himself up to score the lead run. Dawson, with his 9th RBI of the season, gets credit for a sacrifice fly. First pitch now to Scott. Ball 1 inside. So Montreal has taken the lead 2-1. Swing, line drive, base hit. Falls in front of Scot Thompson in left center. So Scott is on first base with 2 outs, and you know when he gets on base, anything's apt to happen. So McGlothen will delay in his stretch and hold the ball a little longer at each time he takes a stretch to try to catch Scott leaning and going toward second base. Let's see if it's successful. It was in Montreal. Scott with the lead. Fast, good base runner. Throw to first, but he didn't have as good motion with that one. Scott gets back safely. Scott has 3 stolen bases thus far this season. There's the throw. Scott is back. They'll continue to throw over there until trying to get Scott to think, well, he's not going to throw over here now. And then the Cubs will pitch out. Here's the stretch by McGlothen. The pitch. It's high outside. Ball 1 was not a pitch out because Foote was still in his position over the outside of the plate for Cromartie. Guessing game going on right now. Here's the stretch. The pitch. Outside, just missing. It's ball 2, no strikes. McGlothen held for a count of 2 on that particular stretch move. Two outs, 2 runs in. McGlothen now into the stretch, takes a look at Scott. A longer hesitation. There he goes. Here's a swing, a fly ball deep to left field. Kingman going back, over his head against the wall. Here comes Scott around third. He will score. And on that outside fastball, Cromartie went with McGlothen and hit it well over Kingman's head against the wall for a run-scoring double, his 3rd RBI of the season. And Scott was on the move, even though McGlothen held for about 3 or 4 counts, but he did not throw over to first base. It's now 3-1 Montreal. Here's Valentine at bat. Cromartie on second base. First pitch, curveball, swing and a miss. That one broke sharply down. A good curveball by McGlothen. So the Montreal Expos have come up with 3 runs on 3 hits, aided by 2 Cub errors here. And have taken the lead. Another curveball and a swing and a miss by Valentine. Now, McGlothen far out in front of the hitter, 0-2. The pitch. Tap foul. The count remains 2 strikes. Parrish opening up the inning with a double on a very close call at second base. Then Speier was safe on the double error, one by Sizemore and one by a throwing error by DeJesus. Rogers grounded out, sacrifice fly, a single and a double. There's one outside, ball 1, strike 2. So Valentine is a 7th man to bat here for the Expos in the 3rd inning. Cubs are not paying any attention to Cromartie. They want the 3rd out. McGlothen sets. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2 the count. Expos will be here tomorrow, Jacket Day, and Sunday. The 2-2 pitch. Swing a fly ball left center. Kingman is there. Comes in, now stops. He's under it. He has it for the out. Montreal scores 3 runs in the 3rd inning. Cubs coming to bat in the 3rd inning. Montreal 3, Cubs 1. Lynn McGlothen will be the first Cub hitter in the 3rd inning. Lynn's looking for his first 1979 base hit. Rogers now with a 2-run lead. He went into the dugout at the end of 2, trailing 1-0. But his teammates now has given him a 2-run lead. It's 3-1. First pitch to McGlothen outside, ball 1. The pitch. Swing a line drive, left field, base hit. Cromartie moves over to the foul line, gloves the ball, goes to the wall, protects himself against the wall, wheels and throws the ball in. McGlothen sent a line drive down the left field line for the Cubs' 3rd hit. Now here's DeJesus at bat. Lined out to Cromartie in left field, his first time at bat. Parrish in talking to Rogers, trying to settle him down. Rogers gets upset at himself, mostly, and sometimes at the plate umpire for calls. Energetic fellow, determined individual, good competitor, and a good pitcher. Now he faces DeJesus, as Perez is playing just a foot or 2 behind first base. First pitch to Jesus is going to swing, and he takes a strike right down the middle. Strike 1. Scot Thompson due up next, talking with Buckner, who is also in the on-deck circle. Buckner can't sit down at all during the ball game. There's one high, and it's 1-1. Nobody out here. Tying run at the plate now for the Cubs. DeJesus shot a home run out of here yesterday. The pitch by Rogers. There's a swing and a miss on a good sinker, and that's his pitch. Right down around the knees. Well, it starts at the knees anyhow. And then it sinks about an inch or 2 below the knees when you go after it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rogers sets the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul. That ball was above De Jesus' head, but he went after it. With 2 strikes on him, he's guarding the plate. 1-2 the count. Parrish at third, Speier at short, Scott at second, and Perez at first. They're set up, hopefully, for a double play. McGlothen with a short lead at first base. Now the 1-2 pitch on its way. Swinging a ground ball over the pitcher's head. Speier has it. Tosses it to Scott. Scott's throw to first is too late. De Jesus with good speed beats the throw, but McGlothen is forced at second base. Speier to Scott. Now, here's Scot Thompson, who shot a single to left field first time at bat and scored on a long double by Buckner in the first inning. Thompson, of course, now will try to pull that ball into right field with De Jesus at first base. First pitch. Swing a 5-ball deep to left center. Well tagged, well hit. Way back against the wall. De Jesus stopped at second base. He's going to be held up at third. De Jesus at second base looked at that ball and then decided that he was going to stop. Joe Malpatano talking to him now on third base. The ball was well tagged and hit right at the base, or hit on top, or halfway, I say, up the wall. But De Jesus, after he stopped at second base, could not score. But Thompson continues to swing a hot bat. So the Cubs now, with the tying runs in scoring position, and they're going to walk Buckner to pitch to Kingman. Well, wouldn't this be nice? And you know what we're thinking of. And he has a few in his career, too. We'll let you know in a minute how many he has. Kingman steps in the batter's box. Bases are loaded. He better have a couple. He has 7. He is 5th in lifetime Grand Slam homers. McCovey with 18. Stargell with 11. Johnny Bench with 9. Jeff Burroughs with 7. And then Dave Kingman of the Chicago Cubs with 7. So let's see if we can break that tie. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Rogers will take his stretch. The wind going out towards left field. First pitch, it's low outside. Ball 1. This is where the big fella really has to discipline himself. He has done so well this year. A different hitter, a different Kingman. Ball 1, no strikes. Rogers gets his side. The stretch, the pitch. Hey, there it is. It's gone. Kiss it goodbye. Way back over the screen. A grand slammer. His 8th, and he broke that tie. Mental telepathy? What do you think? It worked with Kingman. A grand slammer. His 4th of the season. His 8th grand slammer of his career. And the Cubs now lead 5-3, a standing ovation. They're still standing here at Wrigley Field. crowd of about 7,000 or 8,000. Kingman getting a welcome in that dugout. Now here's Ontiveros up to bat. The pitch. High outside. You think that might have upset the cool customer on the mound? Well, it could have. Ball one pitch. Swing and a base hit to right field by Ontiveros. It just is not Rogers' day-to-day, as we mentioned from the first inning. And now Dick Williams is walking very slowly to the mound. Woody Fryman is warming up. There was no doubt about that home run. As soon as it left Kingman's bat, I knew it was gone. I could feel the crack of that ball hitting the bat up here. Somebody else retrieved that ball as it left the ballpark, and Rogers walking very slowly from the mound. So, while Fryman is walking in, let's pause for this message.
This is including Elgin. We're up to $10,000 for a large homeowner's loan. Call in over 32020.
Hey, Vince.
Yeah.
Ask me the secret of my side-splitting comedy technique.
All right, Lou.
No, timing,
what is
timing? Now, let me ask you the secret of raising a little ruckus with a brand new cutlass.
Timing.
Oh.
Yeah, Lou, that's no secret. The gallant men of old have a lot of exciting answers to that one.
You mean the way they offer different cutlasses for different people?
Exactly. From practical to luxurious, the new 79 Olds cutlasses are ready to answer every need at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer.
So stop in and see them and tell them Vince and Lou sent you. Well, let me tell you, for any baseball fan, the greatest thrill in this game, of course, in my opinion, is the home run and the double play, if it happens for your team. And these folks right here at Wrigley Field got quite a thrill on Kingman's 8th career Grand Slam home run. And it puts a big 4 on that scoreboard for the Cubs. And the Cubs now lead 5-3. Now, Woody Fryman, in relief, will face Murcer after Ontiveros has singled to right. First pitch by the southpaw, strike called right down the middle. Fryman is 1-1 and lost none. In relief, he's pitched 5 1/3 innings. Takes a look at Ontiveros. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop foul down the left field line. Out of play. Strike 2 on Bobby Murcer. Perez holding Ontiveros on at first base. Fryman is ready, sets and delivers. Outside. Ball 1, strike 2. Sidearm pitch, and Murcer swings and misses, striking out. Now here's Barry Foote. Foote popped out to Speier just behind the second base. Bag in the second inning. High, ball 1. Foote is the 7th man to bat here in the 3rd inning for the Cubs. Top of the inning, the Expos sent 7 men to the plate. Foote swings and hits one foul. Down the left field line, it's now 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs 5, Montreal 3. The pitch. Strike called. Letter high, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-run lead is nice, but a few more would help. Montreal Ball Club has been scoring runs, and they have been winning those 1-run ball games. Outside, 2-2 to count. The stretch.
And the pitch. Pop foul out of play. 2-2 the count. There'll be some more home runs today, and there'll be some more runs scored with it. As that wind continues to blow out to left field. Inside. Full count on Barry Foote. 3-2. 3-2 and 2 outs. Perez moves back to a normal position. Gives Ontiveros a few more feet on his leadoff, and there he goes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Foote strikes out. So Feynman comes in and strikes out 2 Cubs. But in the inning, the Cubs on a grand slammer by Kingman lead Montreal 5-3.
Says to call Bob Adams for their people-to-people service, general finance's professional experience, and the particular plan for your particular need. 70 Chicago area offices, including Bolingbrook. Borrow up to $10,000 or for a large homeowner's loan, call Andover 32020.
A lifetime of value for you.
Well, it was a respect for Buckner's bat that set up Kingman's grand slammer when Dick Williams decided to walk Buckner, load up the bases for Kingman, and then that grand slammer followed. Here's Perez leading off for Montreal. First pitch, ball low. Let's pause for station identification. This is a WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago. It's 2:31.
Kingman has just gone back to the warning track in front of the wall to take Perez's long fly ball. 1 out. 1 away, and here's Carter at bat. Carter, 1 for 8 in the series with the Cubs, 1 for 7 in Montreal. Here's a pitch by McGlothen. Fastball. Ball 1. McGlothen now with a little more determination with a 2-run lead. Cubs 5, Montreal 3 at the end of 3. We're in the 4th inning. Curveball popped up behind the plate. The wind will carry it out of Barry Foote's reach, back into the stands. Cubs with 5 runs, 6 hits. Montreal 3 runs, 3 hits. McGlothen leans in, gets his sign. The pitch on its way. Curveball, just missing inside. It's ball 2, strike 1. Bonson warming up for Montreal down the right field line. Swing, ground ball to shortstop. DeJesus has it. Winds up, throws to Buckner for the out. Ball was hit very sharply right to DeJesus. 2 outs. Here's Parrish at bat. Doubled into left center, first time at bat. Parrish, right-handed hitter. First pitch from McGlothen is low, ball 1. Cubs play Parrish to pull. Scot Thompson is in left center. DeJesus is a step or 2 to his right towards the hole at shortstop position. He's not directly in that spot. There's a curveball for a strike. 1-1 to count. Detroit 7, Toronto 1. Detroit batting in the 7th. Swing and a tap through the middle of the diamond. Behind second base, DeJesus has it. Cannot make the play. The ball should have been caught by McGlothen as he was falling off to the left of the mound. It wasn't hit sharply at all. And he just sort of waved at it as it went past him. And by the time DeJesus could field the ball behind second base, Parrish was on first. So that is the 4th hit for the Montreal Expos. And now here's Speier at bat. The pitch. Oh, there's one hit deep to left center. It's going. It is gone. Kiss it goodbye. Speier, a first ball fastball hitter, and the Cubs know that, but McGlothen didn't want to get the ball there. It was over the plate and high. And this is Speier's first home run of the season. His second and third RBI, but not only that, it ties up this ball game at 5. So that might keep Fryman in the ball game. We had Tommy Hutton in the on-deck circle ready to pinch hit. And it is Woody Fryman coming out. That was McGlothlen's third home run pitch. Woody Fryman batting. Right-handed hitter, even though he's a southpaw as a pitcher. First pitch, swing, ground ball through the middle. DeJesus has it behind second. Sidearms the first. 3 outs. But the home run by Speier ties up this ball game. Cubs coming to bat, all tied up, 5-5. Fryman's first pitch to Sizemore is a strike call. This is starting out like one of those Sunday picnic softball games. We're only in the bottom of the 4th inning, and with 5 runs on each side. I imagine Sunday there'll be a lot of softball games and picnics. Greek Sunday this Sunday, Greek holiday. 1-1 the count. The pitch by Fryman, swing, ground ball, past the third baseman. It is. Well, what's the call? Nobody's called it yet. The plate umpire has pointed fair. Now there goes Sizemore for 2. The slide, he's safe. The plate umpire called the play, and it's a fair ball, and it's a double down the line. Williams on the edge of the dugout steps there, hollering, but is not coming out to protest the call. Cubs' first hit off Fryman, 7th of this game. And for Sizemore, that's his 3rd double. Now here's McGlothen at bat. Expos expecting the bunt as Perez is in shallow. So is Parrish. Here's the first pitch to McGlothen. He's going to swing. He does. Ground ball. Pass. Speier into center field. Base hit. It gets past the center fielder. Sizemore was held up. Now he scores. Here's McGlothen going for 3, and he is in there standing up. McGlothen and the Cubs fooled everybody. As Speier was standing at second base at the pitch, McGlothen, instead of bunting, he choked up as if to bunt, and then hit the ball with a good swing past Speier on the first base side of second base. And Dawson, in his astonishment, I guess, tried to hurry the play, and he bobbled it for an error. It's a single for McGlothen. They do not give him an RBI. But the Cubs have taken the lead 6-5, and McGlothen wheeled it clear around to third on the 2-base error by Dawson. And here's DeJesus at bat. The pitch, inside fastball. No action in the Montreal bullpen. Expos infielders in shallow. Here's the windup. 1-ball pitch. DeJesus takes low. Ball 2. 6-5 Cubs. I'm glad we get our last bats in this game. I hope we don't need them. Anything's apt to happen today. The pitch. Low. Ball 3. A grand slammer. Very seldom will you see Rogers only work 2 1/3 innings. He looked to me as if he was just too strong. His fastball was high. There's a strike called. Rogers' pitch, of course, is that good sinker and good control. 3-1 the count to DeJesus. The pitch on its way. Pop foul, and now the count goes to 3-2. DeJesus 0 for 2 in this ball game. Expos infielders are on the edge of the grass. They're not going to concede a thing. They want to shut off McGlothen if possible. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and there's a swing and a ground ball to Parrish. Tags McGlothen, who's safe at third, and then throws it wildly to first. DeJesus is safe. Here's a throw to second. He's safe. McGlothen was just a step off of third base. Now that's twice in 2 days we've seen a third baseman, after a ground ball taken, try to tag the base runner. Reach tried it yesterday, missed on Murcer, and then threw wild to first. Parrish tried the same thing here to McGlothen, and fortunately McGlothen got back safely on a close play, and then Parrish's throw was into the dirt, past Perez, down the right field line, which enabled McGlothen to score, and Perez, after getting the ball, or Scott throwing it to Speier at second, could not retire to DeJesus, who is on second base. The pitch. Strike called to Scot Thompson. It's an error on Parrish. Expos' second error of the game. 7-5 Cubs. There's a ball outside. 1-1 now to Scot Thompson. Cubs have picked up those 2 runs. The Expos scored in the fourth to take the 2-run lead. The pitch. Swinging a foul back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And actually, you cannot blame Fryman. Sizemore's double must have hit the line at third, going down the line. Then McGlothen singled through a drawn-in infield, expecting a bunt. Dawson booted the ball for a 2-base error. Then an error here by Parrish. There's a pop-up on a sidearm pitch. Parrish in front of the Cubs dugout. He's near the wall. He makes the catch. Thompson, fooled on that sidearm curveball of Fryman, pops out. Now here's Buckner at bat. Buckner doubled in the first, given an intentional walk in the third, just before Kingman unleashed a grand slam home run. Kingman's 4th of the year now gives him a total of 14 RBIs. He's up next. One out. DeJesus at second base. The pitch by Fryman. There's a strike call. One strike, 1 out. DeJesus with the lead at second. Woody Fryman in relief of Rogers on the mound. 1 strike pitch will have to wait as Fryman steps back off of the pitching rubber. Wants another sign. Carter grants his wish, and we're all set. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball to left field. Cromartie's there, moves back. He's under it. He has it. Ball was well hit, but not up into the air. It was a line drive. 2 outs, and here's Kingman, and he gets a very fine ovation as he steps in the batter's box. Kingman ready to face Fryman for the first time. His grand slammer was off of Rogers. 8th career grand slammer. He's fourth now in lifetime career Grand Slammers. The pitch. Swing, ground ball to shortstop, but Shorty bobbles it, picks it up, holds it. Ball was hit sharply to the right of Speier. He moved over 2 steps to field the ball. He'd have had to throw a country mile to get Kingman. Let's see what Dave Nightingale, the official scorer, rules on this. It'd have been a tough play. He was back on the grass, the outfield grass. Here's Ontiveros at bat. They're going to award Kingman a hit, which is all right in this reporter's opinion. Here's the first pitch now to Ontiveros. Swing and a base hit to right center. De Jesus will score. There goes Kingman around second, and he will go to third. So Ontiveros going after the first pitch. Singles into right center, driving in his second RBI of the year, which scores De Jesus with the third Cub run of this inning. And the Cubs now lead 8-5. What did we say? Something about a 11-9 game, maybe? Here's Murcer at bat. 2 outs. First pitch to Bobby. Outside, ball 1. We're in the 4th inning. Cubs 8, Montreal 5. Dinner will be late tonight. Here's the pitch. Fly ball deep in the center field. Dawson is there. It's straightaways, lots of room. He's under it. He has it for the out. 8 Cubs come to bat in the 4th inning, scoring 3 times. At the end of 4, Cubs 8, Montreal 5.
This weekend, come to McDonald's.
Good morning.
My daughter has tap in.
Thank you, everybody.
Make the most of your morning.
Well, the errors are evened up at 2 apiece, but the Cubs have the lead 8-5 in the game that is so far giving the fans a little bit of everything. Timely hitting, especially timely. The Cubs' first Grand Slammer of the year. They had only one all last season. That was off the bat of Bobby Murcer on the road. So not many fans had a chance to see that one. Now it's the top of the batting order against Lynn McGlothen. Andre Dawson stepping in. And the right-hander takes the ball a little bit low. Got credit for a run batted in with a sacrifice fly in the third. Is 0 for 1 officially. 1-0 pitch. Checks his swing. It's a strike call. 1-1. Rodney Scott in the on-deck circle. Started to say Tony Scott. He's with the Cardinals and just left town last night. 1-1 delivery. Swung on it. Ground ball deep in the hole. And De Jesus cannot come up with it. It's into left field for a base hit. That'll bring up Rodney Scott. De Jesus went over deep in the hole and tried to backhand that ball, which was hard hit. We'll get some action now in the Cub bullpen. 6 hits. Off McGlothen today, that's as many as he gave up Sunday when he beat this ball club and allowed only 1 run. Scott, who singled and scored in the third, looks at a strike, and he cannot believe the call, standing with his hand on his hip, jawing with 32-year-old Dennis Riccio from Arlington Heights. Taught history at Buffalo Grove High School. Now Rodney decides he'll go over and towel off the bat handle after a bit of a conversation with the young umpire. By the way, for our listeners here in Chicago, on the network, if you'd like to win some free box seat tickets to future Cub games, join Roy Leonard mornings here on WGN from 10 to noon and 7 to noon on Saturday. Scott is back in there, and that's a strike call, and he is jawing again to the plate umpire, and Dick Williams may have to come out there to prevent Rodney from getting thrown out of the ball game. He has a pretty good temper. Standing off to one side. Still doing some jawing with Riccio. Williams poised, ready to come out if he has to save his player. Right, by the way, is a new and exciting fun game. Allows you to call him when you hear the crack of the bat. Listen mornings for details on how to play ball and win box seats. You can join us for some fun out here at the ballpark. All right, Scott back in with a strike 2 count. And McGlothen just missed the outside corner at the knees with a breaking ball. He looks a little disturbed by that call. Ball 1, strike 2. Runner on at first base is Dawson. The Cubs with a lead of 8-5. A swing and a bouncing ball to Buckner. He's going to go to DeJesus for one. The relay back to McGlothen. He is safe at first base on a close play. But they get Dawson the lead-off man, or the lead man. That'll bring up the left-handed hitting Warren Cromartie. Lynn did an excellent job getting over to first base to take that return throw. Cromartie, after looking at strike 3 in the first inning, doubled and drove in a run in the third. Good hitter. Scott, good speed at first. Here's the pitch. Just missed outside, ball 1. Detroit walloping Toronto 7-1. They're in the 9th inning at Detroit. 1-0 pitch. Runner goes, a swing and a miss. And Barry Foote can't get the ball out of his glove in time to even make a throw. Ball 1, strike 1, a stolen base for Rodney Scott. He had a great jump that time. That's his 4th stolen base already. He was 2nd on the Cubs ball club last year in stolen bases to Ivan DeJesus. 1-1 pitch. Curve swung on and a high fly ball to Kingman. Dave coming in and to his right is there. Makes the catch. Scott will hold at second. 2 gone. And the batter will be Ellis Valentine. Fly to right and to left field so far. Cubs with 10 hits and the big blow. Dave Kingman's grand slam home run. Hit it off Steve Rogers. And it went bouncing up the street, left the ballpark. Swing and a miss. A little extra on that one, and the ball broke down sharply on Valentine. Tomorrow will be Jacket Day. Stretch, strike 1 pitch, a swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him. Boy, he really had Valentine jumping on that one. He was trying to unload. Now he finds himself in the hole, 0-2. Outfield deep for him. Swung around to the left. McGlothen checks Scott at second. 0-2 pitch. Low, ball 1, strike 2. Wasted it. Boston leading Kansas City 3-1 at the end of 4 innings of play at Fenway Park. Eckersley was hit by a batted ball, the starting pitcher for the Red Sox, and was replaced by Andy Hassler. 1-2 delivery on its way. Swung on, a little number off the bat, goes out to the mound. McGlothen has it. Lynn's peg over to Buckner, retires Montreal in the 5th with no runs. And the Cubs come to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning at Wrigley Field, leading 8-5.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Carrie Potterfield here, Bob, for a home repair loan.
That can be easily arranged, Carrie. Some damage at home?
Yeah, our little Binky is getting kind of playful.
What breed is he?
He's an American buffalo, Bob.
A buffalo?
The wife heard they were an endangered species, so we took one in.
You must have a big house.
You bet. 2 bedrooms.
Is there room for all of you, Carrie?
Oh, sure, unless Binky chases a car. He likes to bring him home, Bob.
I see.
And this morning he was sleeping at the foot of our bed when he hears the milkman.
You sleep with a buffalo?
Binky just ran right out to lick his hand, so we need a loan.
I don't follow.
Binky can't open the door, Bob.
Oh, so he just went right through the right. Well, I'll get to work on your home repair loan, Carrie.
Oh, thanks, Bob. Sit, Binky. No, not there.
When you need financial assistance, General Finance has a plan to fit your needs.
It makes sense to call Bob Adams for their people-to-people service. General Finance's professional experience and the particular plan for your particular need. 70 Chicago area offices, including Crystal Lake. Borrow up to $10,000 or for a large homeowner's loan, call Landover 32020. Spring is planting time for trees, shrubs, and evergreens. And during Ambling's Tag a Tree sale now in progress, you'll find one of Chicagoland's largest selections of fully developed maples, lindens, honey locust, and other popular varieties. Now during April, Ambling's is offering these beauties at spectacular savings. And Ambling's will plant your selected trees, shrubs, and evergreens free with a minimum purchase of balled and burlap stock. Visit Ambling's Garden Center during April for tremendous savings on their every bloomin' thing to beautify your home and garden. Barry Foote stepping in. Has popped up and struck out so far today. Left-hander Woody Fryman in relief. Fastball swung on and missed. Detroit knocked off Toronto 7-2. Fryman's next one swung on and he fouls it back out of play. 0-2. So the Tigers move over the 500 mark. They're now 5-4. Toronto may never see 500 again this year. They are now 4-8. 0-2 pitch. And Woody wastes the fastball outside. 1-2 on the right-handed hitting catcher, Barry Foote. Sizemore due up next. Here it comes low into the dirt. 2-2. Veteran left-hander Woody Fryman winds. Barry Foote swings and he drills it foul. Hammers a line shot into the seats down the left field line. He was looking for the fastball and got it. Now Fryman ready with the 2-2 delivery. Took a little off of it. He swings and lifts a high foul back out of play. Ought to be a good crowd at San Francisco tonight. The Giants host the Dodgers. 2-2 pitch. Outside of the breaking ball. Cardinals home tonight to Cincinnati. Pittsburgh at Houston. Mets at Philadelphia. 3-2 pitch. Curve and he missed low and inside. Ball 4. And Fryman upset with himself. That'll bring up Sizemore. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
WGN Radio Chicago.
Veteran Stan Bonson warming up again in the Montreal bullpen down the right field side. As Sizemore steps in, he led off the fourth inning with a double. Fryman's first pitch. Fastball, low and inside, ball 1. Vince Lloyd here with you at Wrigley Field. Hope you're enjoying it. In case you missed it, Dave Kingman hit a grand slam homer in the third inning for the Cubs. Way out of the park. 1-0 delivery. Sizemore takes, and Fryman is just outside. Ball 2, no strikes. Lynn McGlothen, who is 2 for 2 as a hitter, is in the on-deck circle. Cubs knocked out Steve Rogers in the third inning today. Barry Foote, not sure about the signs, has gotten verbal instructions from Cookie Rojas, coaching at first. 2-0 pitch. And he takes a ball inside at the knees, 3-0. And Fryman upset. So is Gary Carter. Both giving it to Riccio. And Carter now stands up, turns his head with that left shoulder, still jawing on that call. Sizemore very likely will take it. Is ball 3, no strikes in the pitch. Taken for a strike, a fastball. He was taking all the way. They may let him go after this one. Barry Foote, short lead at first, goes. 3-1 pitch swung on, ground ball. To the left goes Speier, throws to second. He is safe. The relay back to first base, nips Sizemore. But Barry Foote, who was running on the 3-1 pitch, is able to get into second base safely. And only that bit of strategy prevented Montreal from coming up with a double play. Speier had to go way over towards his left side and gave an underhanded toss to the second baseman, Rodney Scott. And here's Lynn McGlothen. A single to left and a single to center, and he scored a run today. Fryman's first pitch, and Lynn takes the ball low and outside. He is a left-handed hitter. Read all about him, all the rest of the Cubs in the new roster book. 1-0 delivery. Fastball swung on, and a little pop foul. It's going to be out of play on the third base side. Ball one, strike one. To get the roster book, just send $2 to roster book, Wrigley Field, Chicago. The zip code here at the ballpark is 60613. That's $2 for the roster book of the Chicago Cubs, and that includes the cost of postage and handling. If you buy it here at the ballpark, you save 50 cents. You can do that here tomorrow or Sunday. 1-1 delivery. Lynn swings, taps one to the second baseman, Scott. Gets it on a good hop. Foot goes to third without a play. As Lynn bounces out, it brings up Ivan De Jesus. Runner at third. Cubs with 8 runs, 10 hits. Montreal, 5 runs on 6 hits. One of their hits, Chris Spire's 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Jesus has scored 2 runs today, but is 0 for 3 officially. First pitch is a fastball, and he takes for a strike right at the knees. Reached on a fielder's choice and on an error. 0-1 delivery. Brushes him back. Ball 1, strike 1. One pitch. Swung on. Hammers a ground ball. It's fired to his left. He comes up with it, the peg. Over to Perez is in time, and the Cubs are retired in the 5th inning. And at the end of 5, it is still the Chicago Cubs 8 and the Montreal Expos 5.
An entire season must pass before an apple ripens.
Well, we have a pretty day at the ballpark. The sun has come out again. Cotton Bogren's groundskeeping crew has tidied up the infield. Ellis Valentine, Tony Perez, and Gary Carter. The 3 scheduled Montreal hitters. Lynn McGlothen in the windup. Valentine, a right-hander, or Perez, rather, a right-hander swings and fouls that one back out of play. Took a good cut at it. The Perez, Carter, and Parrish, all right-handers. Strike 1 count. Tony fouled out to Buckner in the second row of seats over beyond the Montreal dugout, his first time at bat. Then lined to Kingman. Fastball. And he did not go after it. I think the ball grazed his bat. For foul, the scoreboard shows 1-1. He wanted the ball checked and a new one thrown in to the ball game by Riccio. Scoreboard is still reading 1-1. Maybe it didn't hit his bat. Sure looked like it. So McGlothen in the windup, and Perez takes it high. Willie Hernandez has started to throw in the Cub bullpen, and Ray Burris joining him. Now the pitch and time was called just about the time McGlothen released it, and Perez, hands on his hips, smiling. He can't believe what's going on here. McGlothen didn't understand it, neither did Barry Foote. And I'm not sure why time was called when it was. Now they have made the scoreboard read ball 1, strike 2, so that other pitch had come back foul off his bat. Wind up in the 1-2 delivery. He goes to right field with it, and that's going to be trouble. It's going down near the corner, caroms off the wall. Bobby Murcer retrieves it in front of the warning track, and Perez is on with an opposite field double. Montreal, 7th hit of the day. And that will bring up Gary Carter, who's lined and grounded out. Solidly built right-handed batter. This could be one of those days. We need about a dozen runs. Supposed to win here. First pitch to Carter, breaking ball, and Gary twisted out of the way of it, but the ball broke in and caught the strike zone. McGlothen checks Perez. Here's a pitch swung on and a bouncing foul down the third base side. Skips into the box seats out near the bullpen. So he's out in front, 0-2. Mild temperatures today in the mid-60s here at the ballpark. 8-5. Cubs have the lead. Montreal batting in the sixth with a man in second and nobody out. 0-2 pitch. Carter slaps it foul, just protecting the strike zone that time. Hey, that came off the roof of the upper deck and wound up in the box seats on the first base side. An unexpected and treasured souvenir. Burris throwing a little harder down in that bullpen. Riccio throws another ball into McGlothen. Nothing in 2 count. Carter started the day hitting .229. He's dropped a few points. McGlothen's pitch. Look out. Fastball up and in on him, and he twisted out of the way just in time. It's 1-2. Nobody out. They play him to pull. Lynn is ready, looks at Perez. Here it is. 1-2 pitch swung on, and he's out in front. Drills another foul. Hard into the seats, way down the left field side. It's still ball 1, strike 2. Jacket day tomorrow, kids. If you're 13 or under, you're going to be one of the 15,000 out here at Wrigley Field for tomorrow's game against these Expos. You get a free Cub jacket, the Cub logo on it. 1-2 pitch, swung on, and he got up enough of that ball to keep it in play. Fouled it off the shin guard, I believe, of Barry Foote. 1-2. You have to have a fully paid ticket to get your free jacket tomorrow. That means that bleacher tickets are not included. Expos here tomorrow and Sunday. And the starting pitchers for the Cubs tomorrow, Mike Krukow. He's scheduled to go against the young man from this area, Dan Schatzeder. And another Chicago area pitcher for the Expos on Sunday, Scott Sanderson, with Rick Russell scheduled to go Sunday. Now we're ready in the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, he's out in front of that one and drills a long drive, barely foul. Down against the wall, where there's only about a foot of territory between the foul line and the wall. And it hit that wall and carrying back out towards Dave Kingman, who put 4 runs on the board with 1 swing of the bat. Ernie Banks, who's sitting out here today with Bobby Douglas, their box seats, look right down home plate to first base, hit 5 grand slammers for the Cubs in 1 season. So he knows well the feeling that Kingman got when he triggered one out of here. Lynn gets his sign from Barry Foote. Right-hander's 1-2 pitch. Swung on at a fly ball center field. Thompson coming in hard. He's not going to get to it in time. Here comes Perez around third, and now he is held up. The throw way out in front of the plate is grabbed by Barry Foote, and on that high throw, which could not be cut off by anybody, Carter goes to second base. Montreal runners at second and third. They were not going to gamble to send Perez in on that one because there's nobody out. But But that will be all for Lynn McGlothen. Herman Franks is out to the mound, pointing down into the bullpen. And he's going to go to Ray Burris. So we have a delay in the action. 2 Montreal runners in scoring position with nobody out. The ball game is in the top of the 6th inning. The score, the Cubs 8, Montreal 5. We'll be back after these messages.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Pete Scalero here, Bob.
Hi, Pete.
Bob, how many times did you want half of a ham sandwich but were too busy to fold the ham?
What, Pete?
Bob, say hello to the inventor of the luncheon meat folder.
You mean a folder that folds the ham in half?
Not just ham, corned beef, bologna, pastrami, and...
Sounds terrific.
You know, Bob, the darn thing even works on mayonnaise.
It folds mayonnaise.
As soon as I work out one wrinkle, it's all set.
Great. What's the
In the meantime, I've got a lot of personal bills piling up.
Well, a consolidation loan can turn those bills in one monthly payment, Pete.
Oh, there you go.
What's the one wrinkle?
And, Bob, do you like tomatoes on your sandwich?
Love them.
Well, that's the wrinkle.
Oh, yeah?
It mushes them right up.
Well, I think people can fold their own tomatoes.
You think so?
Of course.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
70 Chicago area offices, including Fox Lake. Borrow up to $10,000 or for a large homeowner's loan, call Andover 32020.
God's country is home to the majestic...
Burris finishing his warm-up tosses, and while we have a little moment here, I want to take time to publicly thank the Chicago Baseball Old Timers Association, all the officers, all the members, and to apologize to them for not being able to attend their annual banquet Wednesday night out at Ferrara Manor, which I understand was a dandy. And I do thank them so very, very much for the beautiful plaque that they gave to me. And I want to thank columnist Bill Gleason of the Chicago Sun-Times for being kind enough to accept it. And the organization. We're very proud of it. Burris's first pitch, and Larry Parrish takes a ball. He has a double and a single off Lynn McGlothen. Nobody out. Runners at second and third. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball is low. 2-0. Burris, working in relief, has no decisions yet this year. McGlothen cannot be the losing pitcher in this ball game. If the Cubs hold out here, he could be the winner. 2-0 delivery. Low. Ball 3. Crowd a little bit nervous. Ray worked 1 inning against the Expos up there Monday. Struck out 1 man, gave up no hits, no runs. That's the game that Bill Lee shut the Cubs out. Monday, 2-0 pitch. That's way outside and low, ball 4. The bases are loaded. Chris Speier, the hitter, belted a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Reached on an error and scored in the 3rd. Matter of fact, there were 2 errors on that 1 ball, permitting him to get to second, and then he got to third on Steve Rogers' ground out and scored on Dawson's sacrifice fly. As the bases jammed, we've had 1 grand slammer here today off the bat of Dave Kingman. They have the tying runs on base, and Speier represents the go-ahead run at the plate. Ray Burris from the stretch fires. Fastball swung on. A drive into center field is going to be caught by Thompson. Hurry! Gets it into second, not in time. Boy, they could have had a double play. Gary Carter had started to break for third and had trouble getting back to second base, but Scotty could not get the ball in there in time. Everybody holds. There's 1 away. Someday, Speier's going to take that first pitch and shock the dickens out of all of us. Tommy Hutton is now going to be called upon to pinch hit. He is 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. Left-handed batter. He is batting for Woody Fryman. Watson has been throwing in their bullpen. Bonson is sat down. First pitch by Burris. into the dirt with a curve and a good stop by Barry Foote. Sosa is now throwing in their bullpen. Ray's first outing was at home this year against the Mets. Relieved at the end of the 5th inning. Didn't have too good a luck. There is a strike call. Ball 1, strike 1. And he was taken out of that ball game, which the Cubs lost. 3 on, 1 out, 1 run in. Willie Hernandez relieved, and all 3 of the men who were on base scored. 1-1 delivery. They're 3 on right now. And he misses low with that one. 2-1 now. This is his 4th relief appearance of this season. Ray Burris, 28 years of age. Bases jammed with 1 out. Boy, wouldn't a double play look good here? 8-5, Cubs leading. Top of inning number 6. Tommy Hutton in the batter's box, a left-handed hitter. Burris checks the runner at second, delivers. Hutton swings. He gets under it and fouls it back up under the net. Ball 2, strike 2. He is not a home run hitter. At least he isn't considered to be, Tommy. But he makes good contact, and he's a very slick fielder. They do have one left-handed hitter over in that bench, Tony Salita, who can drill it out. Burris checks the runner. Kicks, delivers, 2-2 pitch. Swung on. He got a piece of that one down around his knees and fouled it sharply back. Still 2-2. Tony Perez, who led off the inning with a double, is over at third. Gary Carter is on at second base. He singled. Larry Parrish on at first. He'd walked. There's 1 away. And Tommy Hutton pinch hitting for Fryman. Burris in a jam. 2-2 pitch. Goes after it at a high pop-up into shallow center field. Sizemore out. Thompson in. Sizemore, one-handed catch. Wheels and gets the throw into the plate. And Foote took it halfway between the plate and the mound, and nobody is moving on the bases for the Expos. Sizemore ran a country mile into center field and made the catch over his shoulder in front of Scot Thompson. Then reacted so fast after making that catch high over his head, braced, threw, and the runners, Tony Perez, who was well off the line, did not think that ball was going to be caught, had to go back to third and had no chance to try to score. But a super play by Sizemore. Now Andre Dawson stepping in. It's 1 for 2 officially and has batted in a run. Bases still loaded. First pitch. Dawson takes a strike just above the knees, inside corner. A super play. Two out. Strike 1 delivery coming up. Here it is. Dawson, half swing, rolls a little foul. Wanted to hold up and couldn't do it. At a soft little liner foul over to first base coach Ozzie Virgil. Vince Lloyd here with you at Wrigley Field. Now Herman Franks coming over to talk to Dennis Riccio about something. And Herman says, now let me tell you, Mr. Umpire, this is what's happened. Riccio says, okay. Young man from Arlington Heights and a teacher, Buffalo Grove High School, and I understand also at Augustana College. Readjusts the mask, takes his position behind Barry Foote. Not on Dawson, who has 3 homers this year. 0-2. 2 out, bases jammed. Here's the pitch. Look out. Fastball up and in on him. And he had to hit the dirt. Let her brush a guy back. Good spot to do it when you got him 0-2. Dawson really crowds the plate. He's right on top of it. Front foot only inches away. He swings and taps one out to the mound. Burris is out of the jam. Montreal had loaded the bases with nobody out, and Burris comes in and gets the job done. So as the Cubs come to bat in the bottom of the sixth inning, they still lead the Montreal Expos 8-5.
The gallant band of O's. We make car buying a pleasure again.
Well, Vince, we're back with the Cubs for another exciting season of heads-up ball.
Yeah, Lou, and back with the support of the gallant men of old.
Two of Chicago's greatest teams, the Chicago Cubs and the Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers.
You know, the Cubs have a kind of team spirit that makes a ball game a pleasure, whether out at the ballpark, listening at home, or on your car radio.
And your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers have the kind of team spirit that makes car buying a pleasure, including personal attention and courtesy.
You know, everybody listening joins us in wishing Herman and his Cubs a rip-roaring success as they race for a pennant.
So visit...
Good morning.
Elias Sosa, good reliever, right-hander, is their third pitcher of the day, while the Cubs got 3 runs off Woody Fryman in 2 2/3 innings of relief. None of the 3 was earned. They did get 4 hits off of him. He struck out 2 and walked 1. Burris, after walking the first man he faced when he came in relief with runners at second and third and nobody out, really got out of a jam, and boy, what a job he did, particularly on Andre Dawson. After getting out in front of him 0-2, knocking him down with the next pitch, he handcuffed him completely with the last one, which Dawson hit right off the bat handle very weakly to the mound. Jammed completely by it. Ray did a super job. And now the Cubs center fielder, Scot Thompson, steps in. He's 1 for 3 today. Singled and scored in the third inning, when the Cubs got 3 runs. Swing and a bouncing ball to the second baseman. Thompson is out of there. Third inning, they got 4 runs on Dave Kingman's grand slammer. 1 away, and that will bring up Bill Buckner. He doubled in the first and drove in Thompson, who had singled. Was walked intentionally in the third inning to load up the bases, and Kingman responded to that challenge, hitting one a mile out of the park. Buck's going to take Sosa's first pitch a strike. I've often said since Sosa came into the league with the Giants that he was a small copy of the great Juan Marichal in many of his mannerisms. Doesn't quite have the assortment or command of pitches that Marichal had. There's a swing on a let-up, and a fly ball to left field is going to be caught. Cromartie grabs it. But this guy can pitch. Here's Dave Kingman. Struck out of the first, a grand slam homer in the third, a single in the fourth. So he's 2 for 3 today. 4 home runs for the year. 14 runs batted in. Nobody else in the ball club close to him in those statistics. Sosa kicks, fastball, low, ball 1. Red Sox are leading Kansas City 6-2 at Fenway Park today. Boston batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. Detroit knocked off Toronto 7-2. Sosa kicks. Here it is. Lets up on it. Foul. Back out of play. Ball 1, strike 1. Boston beat Milwaukee yesterday 5-3. Win today leaves the Red Sox 7-4. Same record as Milwaukee. Pending, of course, the outcome of the Brewers' scheduled game at Baltimore tonight. 2 out, bases are empty, Cubs are leading. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. A swing on a fastball, and Dave gets under it and fouls it high back out of play. 1-2. Strikeout, a grand slam homer, and a single for Kingman today. Big fellow resets himself in the batter's box with that wide stance. Sosa peers down, nods his head as he gets a sign. The windup in the right-hander's pitch. Swung out and missed. He got him. The side is retired in order. And after 6 full innings of play, it's still the Cubs 8, Montreal 5.
Canada is a celebration. Canada is your kind of summer. Come to Heartland, Canada, and expect the unexpected. Come for the scenery and enjoy the cities. Drive through rolling farm country and end up lounging on a sunny, sandy beach. Come for a summer celebration, dancing, feasts, and fun, folk festivals, and country fiddlers. Get into the summer spirit of friendly Manitoba. Come and catch the sun under skies bigger, bluer, and wider than you ever imagined. Drop a line into sparkling, uncrowded lakes that practically guarantee you can catch your dinner anytime you choose. Believe it, it's yours in sunny, unspoiled Saskatchewan. With the favorable exchange rate, your dollars will go even further now. Canada, there's so much to go for. A message from the Canadian government.
You can do something about high energy and home costs. Visit the big Energy and Home Improvement Fair. Thousands of products for saving energy and money, for remodeling and decorating. See do-it-yourself at a handicraft demonstration. Get advice from Miss Fix-It and the Answer Man. See the energy-efficient model home and other fascinating features. All at the Energy and Home Improvement Fair, now through Sunday, Arlington Park Exposition Hall. Extra, arts and crafts display. The Energy and Home Improvement Fair.
Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
Rodney Scott steps in on the first pitch. He takes for a strike. Burris winds. Just missed the outside corner. It's ball 1, strike 1 on Rodney. They're very, very upset with Dennis Riccio last time at bat. Curve didn't break, stayed high and away, ball 2, strike 1. Cubs with 10 hits today, the Expos with 8. Each team has been guilty of some errors in the field. There's a swing and a foul tip. Ball 2, strike 2. He really jumped out after that one. They committed a pair in the 4th inning to help the Cubs along, and the Cubs committed 2 earlier in the 3rd. There's a swing and a high fly ball to Kingman. Retreats in left field. He waits. He's got it. Rodney Scott, fly ball, the opposite side. That brings up Warren Cromartie. Doubled and drove in a run in the 3rd. Of the 5 runs that they got off Lynn McGlothen today, 3 were earned. Give up 8 hits, including a 2-run homer off the bat of Chris Speier. Did not walk anybody. Cromartie tries to butt, and he fouls it back out of play. Philadelphia, game and a half behind the Montreal Expos in the Eastern Division race. The Phillies home tonight to the New York Mets. 0-1 pitch. Fastball, just missed in at the belt. 1-1. And the Mets have made a deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates for shortstop Frankie Tavares. Let's up on that pitch. It's swung on. Ground ball down to Buckner. He's got an unassisted putout. Beautiful change. That will bring up Ellis Valentine. 0 for 3. Don't forget now, you can get your tickets in advance. You can visit the Wrigley Field box office here at Addison and Sheffield. It's open Mondays through Saturdays all season long. The office hours during the week, 9 till 5. Swing and a miss by Valentine. And tomorrow, every Saturday, they're open from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And this Sunday, when the Cubs and the Expos go at it again, box office will be open until 4 in the afternoon. Valentine takes, and that's a ball a little bit low. Ray Burris in the windup and the pitch. Swung on a miss. Fastball moving away from the right-hander, 1-2. Ray came on after a double and a single that put runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 6th inning with nobody out. He issued a walk, then got the next 3 men with a great play by Sizemore to assist on it. Ball too high, 2-2. So the Expos had a golden opportunity, but they left 3 men stranded. Did not score in that 6th inning. 2-2 pitch. Swung on a high fly ball carrying deep to left center. Thompson moves one way, now another. Now he comes in and makes the catch on the warning track. Makes it exciting out there, but he hauled it in, and the side is retired. In the 7th, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. It is still the Chicago Cubs 8 and the Montreal Expos 5.
This spring, True Value hardware stores are offering values to help you do the dirty work around your house. Hi, Pat Summerall suggests Wells Lamont Ladies Garden Gloves for just 99 cents a pair. The cotton floral print gloves will protect hands and nails from dirt when digging in the garden. And they can also help prevent calluses and blisters when sweeping, raking, or doing other chores. Wells Lamont also offers men's utility gloves made of durable canvas that are ideal for yard and garden work, and they're just 49 cents a pair at True Value hardware stores. And right now, for just $2.99 each, you can choose a quality Empire kitchen broom or outdoor broom. Both have polypropylene bristles that efficiently trap dust and sweep dirt. Then wash clean and dry quickly for the next use. See these springtime values and more at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers. Save gas. You won't have to drive far for your shopping and gift-giving needs. If you're looking for values, service, and selections, you'll find them nearby at any one of the more than 5,000 True Value hardware stores and home centers nationwide.
Dominic's, Chicagoland's most complete food store.
Now through Saturday, pick up some fantastic savings at Dominic's. A 1-pound loaf of Nancy Martin white bread is a low 25 cents. Be sure to stock up. There's also a super price on Heritage House Frozen Orange Juice. 6-ounce can is only 29 cents. Delicious frozen orange juice at 29 cents and a loaf of white bread for only a quarter are just 2 of the thousands of reasons to shop at Dominic's.
Well, we don't have as big a house as we had for the games of the Cardinals, but it's an enthusiastic crowd out here. Is he waving now to the television cameras? 6,276 paid. Every Friday, of course, the Cubs are home. It's Ladies' Day. Not too big a turnout of the gals today, and we have a total here, including the paid attendance, of 6,421. Steve Ontiveros steps in, and the first pitch from Sosa, a fastball that misses low, ball 1. Ontiveros 2 for 3 today and has batted in a run. 1-1 delivery. Breaking ball outside. The RBI Steve got today gives him 2 for the year. Elias Sosa, their third pitcher of the day, pumps one too low. All of the other National League teams will be playing tonight. Here's the windup, and Ontiveros swings, and he hits one down to Perez. He's got it started to take a wicked hop on him, but he's got a good pair of hands. Makes the pickup and an unassisted put-out to open up the bottom of the 7th, and that will bring up Bobby Murcer. Hit one deep to center field his last time at bat, but Bobby today 0 for 3. Ernie Banks and Bobby Douglas busy signing autographs for the kids down there in their box seats. First row looking right down the plate to first. Bobby takes a breaking ball from Sosa, and it misses. Ball 1. Red Sox are really laying it on Kansas City. They just came up with 3 more runs in the 8th. 1-0 pitch. Fastball. Tried to put too much on it. Missed low and outside. Ball 2. No strikes. Even though it's early in the season, Sosa has 2 wins and 1 loss already. 1 save, too. And he misses. Ball 3 to Murcer. Done in 6 games. And 4 decisions. A save, 2 wins, and a loss. 3-0 delivery. Tries to outmuscle that one, and he throws it high for ball 4. Well, Bobby is on with a walk. And each of the 3 Expos hurlers of the day has issued 1 walk now. And the Cubs have also contributed 10 hits with Dave Kingman bringing this crowd to its feet with a grand slam homer, way out of the ballpark. Here's Barry Foote, who has walked, popped up, and fanned. First pitch, and the right-hander checks. He swings the ball, hits his bat, and comes back foul. California Angels really been on a tear. They'll see if they can extend their winning streak later on tonight. There's a swing and a miss by Foote. 0-2. They'll be hosting the Oakland A's. Kenny Holtzman is now loosening up in the Cub bullpen. 0-2 pitch coming up to Barry Foote. Swung on a miss. The runner goes. The throw is high. Scott comes back with a tag. Murcer can't believe he is called out. He thought he already had that foot well planted on second base. It results in a double play. At the end of 7, it's still the Cubs 8, Montreal 5.
This weekend, come to McDonald's.
Good morning.
My daughter has tap dancing lessons at 10:30.
Oh.
What would you like, Felicia, dear?
I'm not teasing. I'm not bluffing. I would like an egg McMuffin.
Felicia, put it on hold, Felicia.
We serve you breakfast faster. You have plenty of time to make the most of your morning.
We want something quick and fast and good. Today we're going bowling.
Huh?
Bowling, fishing, Lane Creek.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Ready?
Yeah.
Make the most of your morning and still have time for a delicious hot breakfast.
I'm going to make the most of my morning.
Could you step up closer to the counter?
Not with my skis on, no.
Enjoy fresh grade A scrambled eggs with hash browns and sausage, hot cakes and sausage, or our own egg McMuffin.
What would you like, sir?
He's meditating.
Oh, huh?
He can't decide between hot cakes and scrambled eggs.
Oh, they're both delicious.
I'll have scrambled eggs.
Scrambled.
No, I'll have
Good. Darling.
Hot cake?
No, I...
Darling.
My cash register's vibrating.
McDonald's, we do it all for you.
Thank you, everybody. Make the most of your morning.
Listen, people, look what's here. To find a new career. The Sometimes Job Mart's here.
This week's big expanded Sun-Times Job Mart has exciting new opportunities in the data processing, engineering, and medical fields. So if you want to go places, pick up the Sun-Times Job Mart this Sunday. There's a real future in it.
Start with the Sun-Times Job Mart.
Tony Perez led off the 6th inning off Lynn McGlothen with a double. That was down the right field line. Now he's leading off the 8th inning against Ray Burris. And after that leadoff double and a single, the Expos still failed to score. Big swing and a miss on the first pitch. Wind up and raise. Next one, jammed him with it. A fly ball out into left center field. On the run is Kingman. Thompson is there. He makes a pickup on the first bounce. And Perez is on with a single to left center field. That brings up Gary Carter. He's 1 for 3 today. Montreal with 9 hits. Cubs have 10. Cubs with a grand slam homer by Kingman. Montreal with a 2-run homer by Speier. The pitch. A little late on a fastball. Fouls it. Back into the upper deck on the right field side. Kenny Holtzman and Bruce Sutter are now throwing in the Cub bullpen. Runner at first, nobody out, and a strike one pitch coming up to the right-handed hitting catcher. Here it is. Swung on, and a high fly ball left center. Scot Thompson is over calling for it. He's got it. Perez gets back to first base as Carter flies out. Larry Parrish will be the batter. He's been on base 3 times today. A double, a single, and a walk. Walked when Burris came in relief in the 6th inning, and that loaded up the bases with nobody out. He scored in the 3rd, scored in the 4th. Came in the 4th inning on Speier's first homer of the year. Right-handed hitter. The pitch. Right on over his back. Staggered backwards out of there about 10 feet or so. A couple of Chicago area men are slated to pitch for these Expos this weekend. Dan Schatzeder tomorrow, Scott Sanderson Sunday. There's a breaking ball into the dirt. Ball 2 on Parrish. And Mike Krukow goes for the Cubs tomorrow. Rick Russell is the probable Cubs starter on Sunday. No baseball Monday. But the Houston Astros will be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Burris with a 2-0 pitch to Parrish. And he takes the ball outside. It's 3-0. 8-5 score. If this guy gets on, they bring the tying run to the plate. Speier. 3-0 delivery from Burris. He takes. There's a strike, a fastball above the knees. Red Sox hammered Kansas City 9-2. And Detroit earlier today hit the Toronto Blue Jays 7-2. Here it is 8-5 Cubs with nobody out or one away rather in the 8th inning and a man at first. 3-1 pitch. And Burris missed low and away. A walk puts runners at first and second and brings up Speier. And it also brings Herman Franks up out of that dugout in a hurry. That's the second walk issued by Ray, both to the same man. Herman out at the mound right now. And he's pointing down to the bullpen. And Sutter is going to come in. So with one out, Montreal runners at first and second. The score, Cubs 8, Montreal 5. We've got a delay in the action at Wrigley Field. We'll be back after these messages.
When you spend time painting your home, make sure it's time well spent by buying a quality paint that will last. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest True Value Hardware Store's finest interior and exterior paints, True Test Easy Care and True Test Weatherall. Both have earned the Good Housekeeping seal and provide a durable finish that will last for years. Easy Care combines the two most important features in a wall paint: a scrubbable hard finish with a beautiful flat latex look that's perfect for every room. And to give you a breather from frequent outdoor painting, True Value Hardware Stores offer True Test Weatherall, their acrylic latex house paint with the breather type finish that lets moisture escape to help prevent peeling and cracking. Both True Test Easy Care and True Test Weatherall are available in a wide variety of colors and are sold only at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers. And save gas. You won't have to drive far for your shopping and gift-giving needs. If you're looking for values, service, and selections, you'll find them nearby at any one of the more than 5,000 True Value Hardware Stores and home centers located nationwide.
Boy, when it comes to remodeling the kitchen or replacing your old carpeting, Friendly Bob Adams can get things off to a fast start with a General Finance home repair loan. Call Friendly Bob at Andover 3-2020. He'll tell you how quickly and easily you can borrow up to $10,000. Then all you have to do is pick up your money at your nearby General Finance office. Call Friendly Bob at Andover 3-2020 and make your house beautiful. Chris Speier, 2-run homer. In the 4th inning, steps in, and Sitter's first pitch is a strike, a good fastball. Let her eye away. Speier smiling a little bit in disbelief. Runners at first and second, one away. Here it is. Swung on and missed. He wound up 2 strides towards first base as he lunged out after that delivery. This is Bruce's 3rd appearance of the year, all on this homestand. He's in 2 games against the Cardinals and got 2 saves. Right-hander ready, delivers. Speier swings, pulls a ground ball. Ontiveros has it to second for 1. The relay in time for a double play to retire the side. Right around the horn. We move to the bottom of the 8th at Wrigley Field. The Cubs still lead. Montreal 8-5.
God's country is home to the majestic eagle. It's one of the few places left where these proud birds still thrive and enjoy air that is pure and water that runs crisp and clear. Seeing them in their graceful flight over the bluffs and valleys is a glimpse of the greatness and glory of nature. God's Country is also home to old-style beer, one American premium beer that is still brewed nature's way. It's the traditional old-world way known as poisoning, and it's the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Poisoning is brewing a beer not once, but twice. Double brewing, pure brewing, nature's way. And it's the only way we brew old-style beer, Heileman's Old Style. Pure brewed in God's Country, slowly and naturally. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Well, Vince, you know, I know this guy who took his girl for a ride, and she insisted he take the top down.
So?
So it took him 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, it wasn't a convertible.
Well, I can think of easier ways to raise a little ruckus. Say with a brand new Cutlass from your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer.
Your gallant men of Olds offer an exciting selection of new 70 Oldsmobile Cutlasses.
They make buying a new Cutlass as pleasurable as owning one.
So stop in today at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers. Tell them Vince and Lou sent you.
Well, a very welcome double play. That Expo thread has died. Now the Cubs coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Ted Sizemore, the middle man on that double play, steps in and takes the ball a little high. He ripped a double and scored in that 4th inning. And the Cubs got 3 runs. Fouls that pitch back out of play. Ball 1, strike 1 on him. He's 1 for 3 today. Grounded out and popped up. Sosa in relief delivers a swing, and he hammers a shot backhanded by Parrish, drops it, picks it up, the big fella throws, and he's got him. Got a rifle arm. The ball just spun Parrish around. Dropped out of his glove. He retrieved it in foul territory near the bag and wheeled a good throw to first base. Here is Suter. First official trip for the plate for him this year, although he walked against the Cardinals the other day. First pitch is a strike to Bruce. Sosa's next one, a swing and a miss. That's a pretty good cut. 0-2. Cubs leading 8-5. We've had 2 homers today. There's a fastball, strike 3 called, and Suter got out of there before Riccio even brought the right arm up. Strikeout number 3 by Sosa. 2 gone. De Jesus stepping in with the bases empty. Scored a pair of runs today, but he's officially 0 for 4. Sosa's first one, he swings and he misses, going after a breaking ball. 0-1 on Ivan. Sosa kicks, here it is. Look out, fastball, tight, right at the letters. Ball 1, strike 1. Grand slam. There's a swing and a little fly ball. Let him fooled on that one. Goes out into center field. Coming in is Dawson. He's under it, grabs it, and the Cubs in the 8th inning go down in order. Dave Kingman has hit a grand slammer. Chris Speier has hit a 2-run homer. And as we move into the 9th inning, the Expos coming to bat. Cubs 8, Montreal 5.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
It's Steve Doormat here, Bob. You loaned me some money to get married 6 months ago.
Right, Steve. How are things working out for the newlyweds?
Just great, Bob.
Something the matter, Steve?
Well, I came home early one day last week. I caught her.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Steve.
There they were, all there, under the bed.
I'm not quite following you, Steve.
I caught her hiding the bills we've received for the last 6 months.
Still not reading you, Steve. Why don't you spell it out?
Well, she wanted to show me how far she could stretch $1, so...
Oh, she hid the bills.
Right, Bob, and now I owe...
Oh, 6 months worth of bills.
Right, Bob.
Well, dry your eyes, Steve. A consolidation loan will take care of those bills. And remember, you can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
Come out from under the bed, Audrey.
70 Chicago area office
including one in Elgin. Borrow up to $10,000 or for a large homeowner's loan, call Andover 32020. Find out all about the revolutionary new Amana central cooling and cooling heating systems. Come to the Electric Supply Booth, number 329, at the Energy and Home Improvement Fair at Arlington Park, April the 18th through the 22nd. The new Amana central units save on energy costs. And if you order one for installation before May 15th, Amana will rebate to you $60, $75, or $100. Call Bob Rogers at 450-3245 for a free estimate. 450-3245 is that telephone number.
And the count, ball one, strike one on pinch hitter Jerry White, batting for Sosa. Wood had just appealed on a check swing on the last pitch, which was down too low. Sutter delivers, and a swing and a foul. Back out of play. Gary and Rodney Scott, of course, went to Montreal in the offseason for Sam Mejias. As a pinch batter, Gary, off to a fine start, is 4 for 6 for Montreal. Sutter out in front of him, ball one, strike two. We're in the ninth, and the Cubs leading 8-5. Bruce nods his head as he gets the sign. The wind up in the pitch. Swung on and missed. He gave him a beauty. The Sutter special that exploded and dropped about a foot. Jerry used to applaud when he'd be out there in center field and see one of the opponents do that against Sutter when they were teammates. He knows now how they feel. That will bring up Andre Dawson. Singled in the fifth inning. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the third, and the first pitch is a strike. He is 1 for 3 officially. Wind up the pitch. Ball low and away. Ball one, strike one. The only action of the National League at Wrigley Field this afternoon. Sutter winds on the 1-1 pitch. Jammed him with it. Ground ball left side. DeJesus has it. Takes a step. Pegs. He's got him. 2 gone. 1 more, and the Cubs will have a victory. Don't be too confident. Well, the other day, the San Diego Padres had 2 men out. They were down by a couple of runs. Nobody on base in the 9th inning before the Giants left the field. 3 runs had scored, and the Padres had won it. There's a swing and a foul out of play to the left side. Scott singled and scored in the third. Is 1 for 4 today. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field. Paid crowd today of just over 6,000. The 0-1 delivery. Look out, that's a fastball high and tight. He started to step into it and then changed his mind in a hurry in self-protection. And Bruce climbs back up the hill. Boy, it's good to see that he is in good form this year. Hopefully he'll not have any recurrence of the injuries that have plagued him the last season and a half. There's a pitch swung on a miss, and he gave him the Sutter special again. Bruce gets off onto the grass behind the mound, blows in the fingers of the right hand, climbs back up the hill. 1 more, and the ball game will be over. 8-5 Cubs. 2 out, bases empty in the 9th. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Swing on and missed for strike 3. Rodney Scott, fans. The ball game is over. Final, Cubs 8, Montreal 5.
Well, once again, people are flocking to Carroll's Men's Fashions, and here's why. In each Carroll store, there is a red hanger shop, which carries a fine line of fashions for men who think young. And this week, the Carroll's Red Hanger Shop features a bodywork separates by Hager, made of 100% Dacron polyester. They fit right, look great. Listen to the fine details on these super bodywork separates. Blazer with patch pockets and belted back, $60. Bodywork slacks, $21. Vest for a very classy touch, $19. Say, why not get all 3? For $100, you'll get a complete Hager outfit that can be mixed with other items in your wardrobe. And your color choice is great, too. Navy, camel, or brown. You can even mix and match the colors. Drop by the Evergreen Carroll store. Ask manager Dick Schroeder to put you into Bodywork Separates by Hager. or stop in at any of the 9 Carroll stores throughout Chicagoland. While you're there, pick up an official Cubs schedule. And remember, that's Carroll's with a capital K.
When you have a tough yard to mow, get the mower that will help pull you through. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest you get the Jacobson 20-inch Power Burst mower from True Value Hardware stores. It's self-propelled, so you won't have to push and pull. Just guide it, even up hills. And the special Power Burst feature gives you an instant surge of power when you need help cutting tall or tough grass. So this spring, get the Jacobson 20-inch self-propelled mower with the special Power Burst feature at participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers.
8-5, Cubs a winner. They out-hit the Expos 10-9. Each team committed 2 errors, both figured in the scoring. Expos left only 6 men, and the Cubs had only 5 left. Lynn McGlothen, with fine relief help, gets his second win, both over the Expos. He's 2-1. And the third save already for Bruce Sutter. Framman, the losing pitcher for the Expos, took only 2 hours and 21 minutes. Last year we had 1 grand slam homer, and the folks at Wrigley Field didn't get a chance to see it. Came off the bat of Bobby Murcer at Philadelphia. Now we've got one early off the bat of Dave Kingman, and I hope that he can repeat that several times before this season is over.
Yeah, that would be nice, Vince. And we have a new sponsor for the Leadoff Man show next week, and they want you and I to choose the player of the month each month, and his, of course, uniform and picture will be painted on the board out in the right field that advertises Torco, and it looks like Kingman's got 1 leg on that already.
He sure as the heck has. Yeah. He may have more than that, too.
And what about Suter in appearances?
Yeah, 3 appearances, 3 saves.
That's right. Talking about Sosa, we have our own Sosa on this ball club, Suter.
All right. Cubs win the first game from the Expos, and we'll have game number 2 out here tomorrow. We'll have more about that in a moment. Our broadcast today has been brought to us by the G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country. True Value Hardware stores, and boy, that's more than just a name. It's their way of doing business, True Value. General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices in the borough. Up to $10,000, just call friendly Bob Adams. He's at Andover, 32020. Your gallant men of Olds. Come on in and test drive a new 79 Oldsmobile today. And by the Association of Chicagoland McDonald Restaurants. I've got the scoreboard coming up with some of the highlights of today's Cub victory over these Expos in just a moment. Ernie Banks is being just absolutely mobbed. The kids down here, he and Bobby Douglas, who've been sitting here watching the entire ball game together, are going to have a tough time leaving this park. They have been besieged by autographs during the game from time to time, and they've been very good about it. Now both of them going down like a pair of Pied Pipers, shaking hands, all these kids following them, and it's a beautiful sight to see. Well, Bobby, of course, was not the player of stature in football that Ernie was in baseball. He sure has a legion of admirers, not only here but everywhere. Just a super guy. We've got to take a moment here for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago.
Sometimes get a little upset with federal regulations. If I hadn't done that, allowed that station break to come in just about then, I guess we'd have had all kinds of inquiries. We're about to sign off anyway, but I did want to remind you that following this 8-5 Cub victory tomorrow, game 2 tomorrow will feature Mike Krukow going for the Cubs and Dan Schatzeder pitching for the Montreal Expos. We hope to have you out here because, among other things, it's going to be Jacket Day at Wrigley Field. And kids 13 and under with fully paid admission tickets. First 15,000 of them are going to be given a wonderful Cub jacket with the Cub emblem on the front of it. That's tomorrow afternoon, Jacket Day. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau, Jimmy Walters are engineering. Jack Minovich, our producer. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago.
Q10 Camera Company on Wacker Drive at LaSalle Street in downtown Chicago has achieved the recognition as Chicago's one great camera store since 1918. And whether you want the most sophisticated camera or the simplest, Any equipment or accessory, Shutan stocks it, Shutan sells it for less. As a family store going back 3 generations, Shutan now serves all 50 states. It's no wonder Shutan's incredible low prices make every day a sale day. Example, well, you get a great $25 cash rebate on the fabulous Minolta XG7. It's compact, easy to use, completely automatic, with 50-millimeter 1.7 lens. Shutan's already low price is only $259.95. With your $25 Minolta rebate, it's your automatic choice, only $234.95. Rebate offer ends April 30th. So don't wait, act now. MasterCharge and Visa cards welcome. That's Shutan Camera Company, sales and fine service since 1918. Located at 153 West Wacker Drive at LaSalle in downtown Chicago. Shop Shutan and save. Vince Lloyd here with you at Wrigley Field. And even though we didn't have too big a crowd, a little over 6,000, they had to be delighted. And I hope that you were too with the broadcast, because they saw a lot of action. 13 runs scored, and the Cubs wound up with more of them than did Montreal. And that's the way it's supposed to be at home, huh? Our scoreboard today is brought to us by Rusty Jones Rust Proofing, the one new car option that appreciates in value. In the 2 other games played in the majors this afternoon, the home team proved to be the winner. At Boston's Fenway Park, they had nearly 21,000, and they were delighted as the Red Sox knocked off the defending American League Western Division champion Royals. Boston 9, Kansas City 2. 24 hits in that ball game. Only 1 homer reported, that by Carl Yastrzemski. The veteran got his 3rd of the year back in the 2nd inning with the bases empty. Andy Hassler had to replace Dennis Eckersley in the 3rd inning of that ball game because Eckersley was hit by a batted ball and had to be taken out of the game. We've had no report on how serious the injury might be to Eckersley, but at that time the wire service reported the injury did not seem to be serious. We hope that that's true. But Hassler came on in relief in the 3rd, and he finished up the ball game. So Hassler winds up with a victory. And Dennis Leonard, the starting and losing pitcher for Kansas City, is now 1-2. And the other game in the American League today was at Detroit, where they drew a crowd of 13,600. And the Tigers knocked off Toronto 7-2, with Milt Wilcox starting, going the distance, and getting his 2nd win for the Tigers without a loss. Wilcox, of course, had pitched briefly for the Cubs a couple of years ago. Mark Lemongello, who put on that horrendous display here at Wrigley Field last year when he was pitching for the Houston Astros, remember? Taken out of a ball game, and he got so hot at an umpire, that cost him a few bucks, you recall. Well, Lemongello is now with the Toronto Blue Jays, and today he suffered his 2nd loss without a victory. Whitaker homered in the 3rd inning for the Tigers, his 2nd of the year. Wagner in the 6th inning with 2 men on, his 1st of the year for Detroit. Mayberry homered in the 7th inning for Toronto with nobody on, his 1st of the year. And it wound up Detroit 7, Toronto 2. The White Sox will be playing at Cleveland tonight, where they have Ken Kravec going against Paxton. Milwaukee is at Baltimore, Oakland at California to see if the A's can stop the red-hot Angels. Seattle plays up at Minnesota, and the New York Yankees host the Texas Rangers. Texas, of course, and the California Angels running neck and neck for the leadership in that American League Western Division, while the New York Yankees are just a half game behind Milwaukee and Boston in that, well, I shouldn't say they're a half game behind Boston, because Boston now is tied for 1st place. They are 7-4, the same as Milwaukee, following the Red Sox win this afternoon, and the Yankees are right now 7-5, half game behind those 2 teams. So that should be a good one tonight at Yankee Stadium. More on the scoreboard after this.
Hello, Rusty Jones.
Hey, how are you?
Goodbye, Rusty Cars.
Hi, I'm Rusty Jones. What? Rusty Jones Rust Proof. You know, I can save your car from rust.
You can?
Sure, because I'm more than just rust-proofing. I'm the one option you can buy for your car that actually appreciates in value.
How's that?
I'll stick with your new car, protecting it from rust for as long as you own it. And everybody knows a rust-free car is worth more at trade-in time.
You really stick with my car?
Day and night, winter and summer.
No vacations?
Not even a coffee break.
No gimmicks?
Nope, I just want your car to stay rust-free, so you can say,
Hello, Rusty Jones. Goodbye, Rusty Cars. Hello, Rusty Jones. Goodbye, goodbye, Rusty Cars.
Over 1,600 dealers nationwide. Check the yellow pages for one near you. In the National League, all of the other action is scheduled to take place tonight. The Philadelphia Phillies now trail the Montreal Expos by just one game in the Eastern Division. And the Phillies tonight host the New York Mets, who have just picked up Frankie Tavares, a shortstop, from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they sent the Pirates veteran Tim Foley. Craig Swan, 1-1 for the year, and that one victory here at Wrigley Field against the Cubs is scheduled to go for New York against Dick Ruthven, who is 2-0 for the Phillies. The Cards tonight entertain the Cincinnati Reds with Bob Sykes, who got a victory over the Cubs, going against Bill Bonham. Bonham is 1-0. Should be a tremendous crowd at San Francisco tonight, where the Giants entertain the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Bob Welch, who is 1-2 without a loss, goes for the Dodgers tonight against the Count, John Montefusco. That ought to be a dandy. San Diego plays at Atlanta. Randy Jones 2-1 against the fine young rookie for Atlanta, Matula. And the Pittsburgh Pirates play at Houston. Bruce Keeson against James Rodney Richard. Keeson does not have a record yet. James Rodney, the strikeout champion of the league, big right-hander, has won 3 for Houston, and he has yet to lose. Well, in this ball game, there were a lot of fireworks. Actually, it started out very, very meekly, although the Cubs did get on the board with a run in the bottom of the first inning on a single by Scot Thompson, and Bill Buckner's double. That extended Buckner's hitting streak to 7 straight games. It gave the Cubs a 1-0 lead. And through the first 2 innings, McGlothen had shut out the Montreal Expos. The Cubs went down in order in the second inning. In the third, we had some fireworks. There was a double, a pair of errors charged against the Cubs, one against De Jesus and one against Sizemore. A sacrifice fly and a single. Well, all told, they got 3 runs in. And they were out in front of the ball game at that time by a score of 3-1. And then in the bottom of the third, the stage was set very, very nicely. A single by Lynn McGlothen, one of 2 hits he had for the day. You'll hear the second one later on. De Jesus forced him with a ground ball. Scot Thompson got his second straight hit, a double. But De Jesus had held up at second base, and he did not score on it. He should have, but he didn't. But that's all right, because things turned out okay. Bill Buckner was walked intentionally so they could get a shot at Dave Kingman. Don't you wish they had that back? Here's what happened.
The stretch, the pitch. Hey, there it is! It's gone. Kiss it goodbye. Way back over the screen, a grand slammer, his 8th, and he broke that tie.
We don't wish they had it back. I'm sure Dick Williams might like to have that decision back, and certainly Steve Rogers would like to have the pitch back. But the ball left Wrigley Field completely. It may still be bouncing. There was to be another home run in the ball game. We'll get along to that, along with some of the other highlights of the ball game, right after this message.
Well, you should see us now. We like to take a bow. 'Cause when it comes to pleasing people, we know how. We like the folks who die to see for a fact the way our first-rate service will make them come back.
During the current United Airlines strike, the phones at Continental Airlines may be busy. Please bear with us. We're doing everything possible to help with the sudden overload. We do have seats available to most destinations. So if you can't reach us, see your travel agent for information. Or come down to the airport and stand by. There's a good chance that Continental can get you to your destination. If you need help during this busy time, you should see us now.
What an airline, holy cow! With Continental, all our friends should fly us. You should try us. You should see us now.
why Continental will be adding more flights to many destinations to help with the sudden overload, so there's a good chance Continental will get you on board. In the fourth inning, the first two Expos were retired, but Parrish kept the inning alive with a single, and that brought to bat Chris Speier.
Here's the first pitch to McGlothen. He's going to swing. He does. Ground ball. Pass. Speier in the center field base. The pitch. Oh, there's one hit deep to left center. It's going. It is gone. Kiss it goodbye.
Bottom of the fourth inning, tied up at 5. Ted Sizemore leads off with a double. Lynn McGlothen steps in to hit.
Here's the first pitch to McGlothen. He's going to swing. He does. Ground ball. Pass. Speier in the center field base hit. It gets past the center fielder. Sizemore was held up. Now he scores. Here's McGlothen going for 3, and he is in there standing up.
That proved to be the game-winning hit in the ball game. Montreal had the bases loaded in the 6th with nobody out. Ray Burris, working in relief, got out of the jam on a super catch by Ted Sizemore. They did not score. Bruce Sitter then came on in the 8th inning when Burris weakened again. And in the 9th inning, former Cub Rodney Scott in the batter's box, the last hope of the Montreal Expos. This is what happened. One more and the ball game will be over.